SASA! Welcome, SASAns, to this week's episode of SASAns and Dragons. I am Magnus Beasticus, your dungeon master for the evening. And boy, do we not only have a great episode in store for you today, but also a great giveaway. Say it with me now, SASAns. Who's that giveaway? A Chuck E. Cheese gift card.
Woo!
Wow. That's so great.
Isn't it though?
How much is it for?
Something like, oh,
That's to be determined. We will cross that bridge when we get to a river. All right, let's introduce our characters, our players, our heroes in this campaign. Roll the tape.
Assassins and dragons. We're slaying some people. Dark Fakir is back. And Thunky's a druid.
Thunky's a druid. You wouldn't have guessed based off her actions.
How dare you?
I'm Thunky Beerbot, and don't let my facial hair fool you. I am a female mountain dwarf druid. I come from a long line of beer brewers, hence the name Beerbot. I had a mostly normal upbringing in the mountains of northern Melibrius, and I've always had an affinity towards animals, not so much the ruling races. I have many fond childhood memories of wandering the local forests in search of new furry friends. Eventually, on the advice of my parents, I enrolled in druidic studies and began honing my spellcasting abilities. My instructor, Elder Dalbrook, was a highly logical man and taught me my most important life lesson, that even though nature is beautiful, it cannot exist without chaos. There isn't a day that goes by that I do not repeat that message to myself. I understand that not all beasts can be tamed, and sometimes I will have to battle one. I don't like to admit it, but this happens more often with my new family, Oren's Obliterate. But I will stop at nothing to ensure their safety, and I may cause some chaos in the process.
If you were to gaze upon the mysterious property of Orenbelle's finest artificer, you would find a very large mansion met by a garden with superbly sculpted shrubbery. At any given time, there is but only one worker that can be found on these grounds, and why that is me, Crow. I am one of Master Cumentus's many creations. The majority of my being is made up of organic, plant-like material. The rest is mechanical. There are many duties for which I was created, some of which include cooking, cleaning, obtaining materials and ingredients, assisting with laboratory duties, removing trespassers from the property, acting as the master's personal bodyguard when in town, and closest friend, always. These may be my regular duties, though Master Cumentus mentioned that I am fully loaded with great purpose and grand potential. I have yet to discover the meaning behind those words. Maybe he was referencing the inaccessible areas of my internal systems, or maybe it is a metaphor for the many journeys he planned for us. Or maybe he was just trying to make me feel better about my self-realized lack of greater purpose in this world. Either way, I seek to discover the true potential of my being.
Hello, I am Varkir Invictari. I am an Aasimar of the clan Invictari at Barathor's Reach. To explain more about myself, I must first explain the world we live in, full of angels and monsters that toy with mortal lives like cheap coins. I sought out to rid us of the need to constantly appease these beings of considerable power. Even if all the world is my enemy, they will thank me when the work is done, for I believe in the strength of my fellow mortal. We have turned the tides of battle with nothing but one act that has spiraled out to a glory that is yet to be rivaled in this day and age. Kalinor, my right hand, my sword and shield. Altero, my left, my bow. All the others were dear to me, Just as my mother and father, the angel that speaks to me in my dreams warns me of the dangers of what I do. But I know my path is virtuous, though I cannot say the same for the company I now find myself with. They may represent the truest of dangers, or the brightest of futures. Time will tell.
My name is Herchek Bane. I am from the clan the Frenzied Bear, whose home is at the northeastern part of the Shattered Peaks. Growing up, I was split between two tribes, fighting over the land we both tried to call our own. My tribe's battle mentality was of pure carnage during warring, praising an unknown entity that I personally detested. My father, Urkhelm Bane, was fourth in line to be chieftain, known in the tribe to be a fierce warrior on the battlefield, and to have saved many lives in combat over the ages. He has but one mighty secret, which is where I come in. Born from a forbidden love with a mighty warrior woman from the clan the Roaring Tempest, my tribe's rivals. My mother, Rakir Stormwill, the Roaring Tempest. She was a brutal warrior on the battlefield and a kind priestess to those in need. Her deity, Regentia, as a weapon as well as her shield, is the goddess I now follow. After years of secrecy, I could no longer hold back my rage. During a battle with a fellow clansman, I unleashed my storm-bound fury. Luckily, through the deeds of my father and the tribe, I was not sentenced to death on the spot. I was, though, cast out from my clan, exiled, never to return or show my face around them. My title in the clan removed from me. One day I will return to my homeland and take over my clan to show them that there can be peace amongst all tribes. Unity is what I seek for the Goliath race, and I will achieve that goal, even if it takes my life.
When last we left our heroes of Oren's Obliterate, they were about to explore the lost ruins underneath Orenbelle, when a prime shade had woken from its dormant state and started to wreak havoc upon the ruins. Prime shades are known to be massive entities or beings that have been twisted by the primal emotions, or by their primal emotions, and end up consuming the life force of the land in which they were raised, or resided. In this case, it was the necrotic energy of the ancient deceased denizens of the past Orenbelle. Varkir could not help but feel a sense of familiarity toward this creature, manifesting in the form of uncontrollable hatred. Our heroes, as well as Captain Bobby from Orenbelle's guard, took the fight to the Prime Shade, and narrowly defeated this abomination. As the shade fell, Varkir, on the verge of death as well, had a vision that revealed the original identity of this dark force. An old ally who aided in Varkir's betrayal and subsequent loss of memory and split of personalities. All that is left of the Prime Shade is its giant blue eyes and dark crystal containing the necrotic energy of the old kingdom of Orenbelle. Varkir as well finds himself assuming his altered, darker self of his half of his personality. And this is where we pick back up. The necrotic ooze of the Prime Shade melting into the ground and then being sucked up by this almost perfectly formed crystal that is just hanging in the air, spinning, with the one, maybe like 10 feet in diameter, blue crystallized eye and the shattered right crystallized eye of this Prime Shade. Bobby went and flew off to tend to the two guards that were that probably died during that battle, and the reinforcements, the well-timed reinforcements that you saw sort of flowing through the opening down into the cavern are still encroaching on your location, and you can see sort of you can see Chris actually back towards the area of the black ship, again about a mile away from you guys, sort of just like waving a flag to hail down the reinforcements. What do you all do now that you are together, licking your wounds, some worse than others? Crow in particular looks like a zombie version of a Warforged somehow. You're going to probably have to get that looked at. Unless you want to scare people in the city more than you already do.
To be fair, he feels great. And that was the first time he's gotten down and dirty with the group.
You do notice, Crow, walking up in your ruined state, that Varkir has changed. He is actually in the middle of stripping, correct me if I'm wrong, but stripping off his armor. And it almost looks like a different person, like the energy coming off of him, if you have a mind for insight, is fundamentally different than it was previously.
Because I look at you and like, who are you? Hello. And I look around and I
Do you not
do I
know
see
me?
anybody else around? Or?
Yeah, you do. You are in these caverns as well, and you can also just like feel the essence of the crystal twisting in front of you.
And I keep on looking at blue orb things, I guess, and as I'm getting changed.
Didn't you say this Varkir holds the
Yeah,
memories of the others? So when you
but
know,
he's just like, oh yeah, so he wouldn't know.
Yeah,
wouldn't he?
yeah.
So yeah, he's just like, hey, Crow, hello.
I thought I had a rough battle. What happened to you?
So it took me a minute to get my bearings there for a second. I didn't realize I was back at the helm.
Well, back in the helm. Well, we almost lost you back there. Last I saw, you were in the clutches of this.
We've never
Prime
talked
shade?
to actually, have we?
Hadn't we?
Yeah, in a manner. You've talked to a version of me, I guess. A more boyish version, I assume.
Boyish.
Yeah, yeah, the Hertrek would understand.
Are you a Warforged as well?
No, flesh and blood here.
The necrotic flesh and blood.
Yes,
Please.
that too, yes.
Quite lost.
Funky's gonna stand up and like brush herself off and be like, "Oh boy."
Wait,
Somebody
boy.
explain what's going on here.
I'm gonna walk away.
But you know that brush woman who came, the zebra, to try and kill us all.
It was a
That
giraffe.
that was my doing. By accident, I wholly admit that I'm innocent-ish. But yes, that was my doing.
Did you put your personality in timeout and call upon a...
Sometimes little things happen here and there. Things get switched around. The normal stuff. For humans, at least. Shouldn't that be the same for you? Your CPU gets switched, you're a different person?
I sure hope not. I am me and there's only one of me. So, is there anything that's changed about you?
Show him your necrotic sword.
You know, I
Show
heard
him your
what you did in
necrotic
Bresh,
sword,
and
Varkir.
I don't know that I am okay with that.
I don't have that right now. It appears somebody has done something to my... Well, the other me did something.
Yeah, it was the wuss version of you.
Yeah, I saw that. I will get that fixed when we get back to Orenbelle.
Do you still have your bird?
No, that bird is not...
Archimedes?
That bird is not my friend.
yeah, you just hear it just like disappears in midair.
As you
Feathers
can see,
slowly float
it's-
down and fade away.
Alright, can I keep? Oh, they fade away.
Well, luckily,
Never mind.
you have a good
You like
horse
reach
back
out
in
and
the
grab
stable.
one with your
Yeah.
fist and then open it and it's gone.
I'm sure you'll be pleased
Small
about
tear.
that. You can go turn it into your death horse, your death
I
strider.
may try again, yes.
Yeah, right here in
No,
Orenbelle.
no.
You remember what happened
All
in
of you roll
Bresh?
wisdom saving throws.
What?
Oh.
All of us?
Yes, all of you roll wisdom saving
Yeah,
throws.
starting off right. Wouldn't be a good one. 10.
17.
21.
9. Yeah.
You two take 7 points of
What?
psychic damage as you can hear 1,000 upon 1,000 whispers all berating your mind at the same time, and it's all focused or coming from the dark crystals. As you can feel this energy just like pulse through you periodically, and you can just feel the sadness and sort of rage as well of an entire passivization. I would say 7 points of psychic damage is a small
I guess
price to
we'll
pay.
talk
That's
about
coming-
all of this later.
That's
What do we
coming
do with these
from
crystals?
The black crystal in the center?
It's coming from the black crystal, yeah.
The
Okay,
dark
can I go over
crystal.
to the blue, one of the blue, the still whole blue crystal and try and like shatter it? Just
I mean, yeah, sure, yeah, go for it.
How far away is it? And can
From
I
that
try and stop
reaction
this?
from me, you probably shouldn't.
Can I try and stop this?
Roll an imposing whatever you want to use to stop him. Check. What are you using? And what are you?
Are you asking for a skill or one of my abilities?
So like, however you envision yourself stopping him, whether it be through dexterity, strength, or like
Acrobatics
probably
for
those
sure.
two.
Sleight of hand. I'd like to grab it.
Grab what?
Wait, how big is the crystal?
The crystal's 10 feet in diameter.
it's like ooh.
Then no. I would like to try and. What are you attacking it with?
A mace. Mace of Terra.
Block the mace with. I'm gonna try and grab it. Just like the shaft of the mace.
You could just say.
Okay, roll
stop.
sleight of hands. Roll an attack. This is what happens. Neither of you has said anything.
And I'm
to
not
each
I'm not
other.
like applying any force other than stopping force,
Yeah,
just
I-
to like grab it.
Oh, that's
18.
No.
19?
No.
19
No. Yes.
What?
Yes.
plus
yes,
6.
Yeah, 13.
plus
Yeah.
6,
okay.
13 plus 6,
You got an
19
18?
plus 6?
No. It's 13
Oh,
plus 6.
Jesus.
Arkier, no, you
It's-
don't.
So the
Want to do
effect
this.
is you just hear this almost like passive wind by your right ear as a hand grabs onto the mace right as you're about to slam it down, and it embeds itself into the crystal and cracks outward, but much less than you anticipate. And even from that, you can almost tell that this is a very fragile material, and had you used full force, it probably would have shattered either the whole thing or a good portion of it.
Varkir, what are you
Why-
doing?
why-
What
What
are you doing?
Why are you
What are you
stopping
doing,
me?
Varkir?
Why
What
you
is
not-
going on?
What is the purpose
This was
of this?
Baldwin's eye.
What is what's what?
This was Baldwin's eye. I must.
Who is that?
Never mind.
What
are you talking about,
Why are you
Arkier?
trying to destroy this?
We
Just
need
let's-
these.
What do you need these for?
These hold great power.
Aren't
You've
you
been
gonna-
God. You saw the ship.
Aren't you going to return it to the land anyways? So
No.
it doesn't die? Oh, okay. We're stealing this one. All right, fine.
Fuck the land.
No, we should probably try and figure out how we may use this material, or
For our benefit.
yes.
Are we going
But
to use it
and
in a 10
then,
Are we going to use it in
while
a 10-foot
keeping this
ball?
intact, we should return it to its rightful place. These are the souls.
So the eyes are not the souls. The eyes are literally just the essence of the prime shade. It's like a rare and unique feature of the prime shade. The black, so it's full now semi cracked eyeball, almost fully cracked, like just like giant shards laying on the ground eyeball. And then in the center where the brain matter was is the spinning like Final Fantasy IX black crystal.
Well, hold on.
The black crystal is the essence of the dead. The eyes
Herchek's
are...
walking over to the crystal. Like, guys, we need to do something with this crystal.
I say we
brain
take it back
hurts."
to Commentus' lab.
Yes.
There may be something in there that
Yes.
might be able to turn this into something that might be useful.
Someone touch it and put it in the
Well,
bag.
I got a pretty hefty
Pinky.
psychic shock from that.
Pinky.
earlier.
Analysis on this crystal.
Penky Dex.
Shouldn't you be able to carry it?
10 feet in that. I don't know about that. No.
No, I mean,
Not
the-
even
the
I know
floating
what
little
this thing will
crystal.
do, as he sort of like crawls out and is sort of like curls one arm around Herchek's shoulder and is sort of like hanging out of the bag. He goes, "I'll willingly take it, though this is a risk to me. Can you sweeten the deal a little bit? Maybe I get something immense, maybe I don't. Oh no."
Walk over and grab a big piece of the other eye and...
He doesn't even make contact with you. His arm reaches out and grabs it and puts it in the bag and says, "So."
What?
I think you just
You
sealed
have
the
to
deal
pay-
there.
It was that piece that you just took, and that is an agreement. Automatically, yes. Put it in the bag, Pinky.
Whatever findings, whatever benefits or positive materials you can get from this clearly darkening force of evil, you will agree that I'll get a piece of it. Whatever you find, you'll share in the knowledge with me.
A piece.
Is that
Well,
Is this
could that
normal?
be done both ways, Pinky?
It's just a piece.
Of course!
Just
So that book
just
you got
a
earlier,
piece.
the necrotic book, yes. I seem to remember that a long time
We'll
ago.
talk about that book later, Vakir. I found some very interesting things for you. You weren't supposed to know her check.
We all
You
found
still
it.
did good.
And Herchek just
s-
randomly grabbed it and put it in the bag.
is Panky's? Is this how we do
It's like-
business with
it's like a
Panky?
vault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's almost
Uh,
like a bank.
He's a bank that taxes heavily.
A corrupt bank.
All too realistic.
Pinky's pocket.
Panky bank.
Don't
It's
worry.
called the Pank.
He only wants a piece, so we can discuss
The Pank Bank.
this later, and I'll just start like
I like it. Sounds dirty.
shoving it into the bag.
So wait, what is the deal that you guys are you
We
agreeing?
are agreeing to the deal that he gets a piece of the power.
Okay. He takes he pulls this this link to a chain, spins around his finger, throws it on the ground. In it, as it leaves his finger, the link still stays there, but it extends down like and lands underneath the crystal. And the crystal gets consumed by overwrapping chains, and you can just see some dark energy sort of like sliding in between the chains. And he flicks his finger, and it crumps down and flies into the bag. And Penky just like shivers his shoulders and goes, "The things that I do for you people.
What do you
Let
mean,
me
you
know.
people, Pinky?
You lovely
Yeah?
folks.
Can,
My
can you take the rest of this
friends."
salvage?
I'm gonna take a piece of the eyeball.
And you can tell that the well, now the full eyeball has lost only a slight bit of its glow, but the other eyeball has lost an equivalent amount, if that makes sense. So like one crack, any imperfection has diminished its effect. But Penky does the same thing, and then
So he just grabbed the pieces and like put them together, and then
Or did you grab the whole one? Or the...
he grabbed the one that was for the most part whole with the chains, and then for the other one you just see this whirlwind of of elongated arms just like scooping everything and putting it into the bag.
so it's just like a clump.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Did we put the prime shade like soul away? All the souls.
Yes. That's what Penky initially chained up and brought into the bag.
Yeah, everything
The
that
black
the prime
gem.
shade just dropped is in the bag now.
Oh, okay.
But what about the soul part?
Okay.
Did we get
You-
that part?
You
I'm sorry.
actually you wouldn't know this. There's no reason to give you any extra information. Because of your as a result of your trolling.
God damn it.
And you can the bag now actually you see there's this dot of black that just expands outward and consumes the whole bag, and it's like it's been dyed black.
Black bag now.
Yep, it's a black bag of holding.
Matches all your outfits now.
I like that color.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, is that bad, Pinky?
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, let's go inside, and I start crawling in the bag with him.
Dark dimension.
He said, "Hey, you're welcome in here."
Oh, am I?
Wow.
I can't believe I'm
You've
welcome
been
in the
in
bag.
before.
Yeah, but I don't know I was welcome.
Well, I mean, of course, at my discretion, but you're in my good graces, so most of you are.
we'll go have a tea party, right? Right.
Oh, Crow, not yet. You share with me. You share your realm of experiments with me, and I'll share mine with you.
You know, I actually kind of like this. I think that there may be more in the bag of holding that might be worth testing.
Well, you should see what's in there. It's crazy. It's got like gizmos and gadgets.
All right, well, that's enough time for me out here. It's suffocating out here, you know.
Thingamabobs.
Call me when you find another goodie.
Quick question about him. Does he still look quite dashing compared to what he used to?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Oh, he
but
does?
you can slowly. It's been a little amount of time, and you can slowly start to see his old appearance, like seeping back in. Like he's getting slightly more dirty. His hair is no longer clean. His teeth went from the as white as they can be, or as not black as they can be, to again just sort of like an incursion of filth coming back in. But he's like a good in between right now.
We'll have a treat yourself day when we get back.
Yeah, he doesn't get out much, so he's got no reason to.
He doesn't look like a hairball, fresh hairball.
No.
And a rat.
No.
Mix.
He still looks like a mixture of. He still looks rat-like, like a rat humanoid, but like, again, somewhere in between a human and a rat. Like more skin is showing. He's got more of a human.
I don't know if that's
Less than a Skaven. Like before he was super Skaven. Now he's more. Just like really creepy, like buck-toothed, elongated jaw human.
Like Scabbers in human form.
Scabbers?
Harry Potter.
No.
I don't know what that is.
No. Screw that.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up.
All right, what are you guys up
How
to?
about we rendezvous with Bobby? Make sure that he's all right. Seems to be the only one that survived this encounter.
You can see his dragon flyer lift up with two bodies on the back, sort of like slumped over the side, and he's going to rejoin Chris and the like multitude of flying guard. By Balokin.
Is there a dragon flyer in the area for us to use?
Bobby, yours exploded. Barkir's got crushed. No, there's not.
Bobby
is
we're
on
hoofing it.
her checks.
All right.
Oh,
then.
Peter Pettigrew.
Yes, actually, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but, like,
Closer to
skinnier
that.
and
Yes, skinnier,
rat-like,
more
less-
emaciated than
And
that.
then when he was really nasty, he just looks like Scabbers.
or Skaven, yes.
Yeah, we'd like to travel back over to the ship.
Oh,
Is
what
where I'm
we- what
guessing
we
everybody
could do
meets
is-
up at.
Thunky, you could fly over there real quick, and we could all use our rings. And oh yeah, Crow, you're
Oh.
here. Take this ring.
Clever.
The ring works for one person to one other person.
Oh.
I throw it
What
deep in
What
the
does this
cavern.
ring do?
Trash.
We can't all use it.
Crow just asked what ring you're talking about.
This ring, what it does, once per day, you can travel to one of us who has the ring. Right now, I think I have a ring, Thunky has a ring, Barkir, and, what was his name? Gurg? Yurg, who is
Yurg.
not with us. He is in the Incendiar Forest. But it's a beckoning connection. So you just think of one of us, and you'll be teleported to us.
Seems quite useful.
Yeah, he's an elf.
I'll put it on.
He's in the Incendiar Forest. He's not in Ildfell. Ildfell.
Also, take these boots. Feel like you need to be quick. Take
Oh,
these
wow.
boots.
Must be my birthday.
Must be my birthday.
Oh, and
Sorry.
Thunky. Oh, you
Wait.
were on fire earlier. Take this staff.
Wow.
Tim used this staff. Would love for you to have it.
That's convenient.
Quite.
So these are boots of haste.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
well,
I don't think they're
that.
boots of
You're
haste.
telling
I
me
don't think that exists.
You've had these the whole time?
They're boots of speed.
I've always
Hold on,
wanted to
Markir was
drop
Markir
staff.
Darkir was awake when was manning the helm when Tim just put the fucking boots of speed around his neck and nobody wore them ever. Nobody put them on.
There wasn't an appropriate time, and Tim doesn't know how to tie shoes.
So yeah, you would have seen that.
So you got boots of hate or boost of speed, and
What
I
did
forgot
they do?
completely about them. He
I
should-
was
he
never
had
sent the
them.
information.
So that is an actual official D&D item. I will add them
It
right now.
boosts your walking speed by 2.
Shut the front door.
That'd be terrible.
That would literally be useless.
One more
An
step.
attuned
Yes.
item that increases
2 more
speed by 2.
I can move
Boots
32
of
feet.
speed.
1, 2. That's it.
Perfect. He was just 2 steps out of my reach.
Would it be
Okay, I got it.
metagaming if I used my new spell that I got since we leveled up?
Oh, those are great. I'm adding the item right now, Enzer. Did you already?
No,
do
no, I saw it. I have it.
What'd you say, Thunky?
Would it be metagaming if I used my new spell that I just received from leveling up? Do I have to like sleep on it first, and then tomorrow I can use it?
It make more sense to sleep on it.
Or maybe this blue energy from the eye,
This
you know,
isn't
like
like
hit
WoW.
me, and I was like, ah! And I was like, suddenly I know how to walk on wind.
If you can come up with a rationality as to why this
That was my rationality.
okay, sure, yeah.
It's okay, we don't have
No,
to.
I don't agree with that rationality.
I know this
rationality.
now. I care now.
But yeah, we'll say that the level up takes effect after you've slept or had a short rest and actually like done something to rationalize why that makes sense.
Okay, well, I guess we're just, walking back the normal way.
Exploring the ruins as we're going back.
Okay, it's about a mile. I mean, at regular pace, it'll be like 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for Vark
Well,
here.
actually, you tell me how thoroughly are you exploring?
How do these ruins look?
So I mean, you've the entire path to Baloken is for the most part destroyed. There are like certain portions with semi-fully formed ruins and people still solidified, but like for huge like 100-foot radiuses, there's just a swath of destruction and what looks to be like sand that's just laying on the ground.
Swath mean?
Just like it's covered.
Is there like structures that are still somewhat standing?
Yeah, there's every now and then.
I'd like to roll a perception check as we're walking through to try to pay attention if there's any symbols of what's his name? Crow's guy.
Cumentus?
Yeah, Cumentus' symbol.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Roll perception check.
12.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything on the way back?
I'm sorry, I didn't like fully want to embark on the way back before doing a perception check on like what's further down the way where the prime shade was.
Okay. Roll a perception check.
$16.
You see the sort of very clear, massive humanoid outline of where the prime shade used to be, as well as this black stain.
Sorry, I don't really mean where he was, like where he
You're
fell,
just talking about
where
further
he came
down.
from. Like if there's more, if I can surmise whether or not there's more in that direction too. Explore or threatening?
Yeah, so what you see where you are currently is you look around you in every direction to sort of see, to get a better idea of how vast this cavern is and sort of like what is deeper down the way. Sorry, first of all, I forgot about this. The orbs are gone, which was the only source of light currently, as well as the light that you see all the way across the way, the tiny pillar from the broken entrance from the top of Orenbelle.
My eyes, they shine a light that's
I
the equivalent
go.
of like a cell phone light, you know, flashlight.
Do you actually have dark
Varkir,
vision?
can we get some light, please? Varkir.
I hold my
dark
mace
vision.
up and I cast light on it.
Light?
Light.
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 Okay.
So like it's trying. It's like a
Flick.
It's like a lantern down. Just like,
He flicks it on his mace.
And disease.
You can tell that you are actually at the, from, what's the radius of it?
it's only 20 feet. So just like
Donkey. Any light?
It's hard to tell much, but
I'm
from
looking.
when, let's say that you were trying to do this when the eyes were glowing and shedding
Rakir,
light around
can
much
you
larger.
cast light on an object?
that's on my mace, but I guess. But do you have anything like that moves around with you?
Can I scan the area for like a baseball-sized rock?
Yeah, easy enough.
Can you cast light on this
Oh,
rock?
okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a
team.
torch out and then cast Druidcraft on it. And
Okay.
now we have a torch.
Okay. Two sources of light, shed about the same.
I'd like to throw a rock.
Yes, I take the light off my mace and cast it on the rock.
Okay.
This is a cantrip, so it's just
You want me to throw that for you?
Oh yes.
You should probably throw it. You're more dexterous.
Is it a dexterity thing or?
It is a
strength?
dexterity thing, weirdly enough, but like we could use strength for just a throw.
Okay.
If it's just distance, like dexterity is more, it's relating more to accuracy.
Yeah. How, or do you want me to throw it? Toss it.
Toss it in that direction.
Tossing it in that direction he's pointing.
Away
In
from the.
yeah, in the opposite direction of the ship.
14.
Herchek reels his arm back in the glowing light. You can see sort of piercing through the in between his fingers, and he chucks it forward. And you all remember as soon as this happens that there's no actual like stone down here. It's all had its, again, sort of like anything keeping it together as a living form in this world has been sucked away from it. So it's very brittle. So it's almost almost as soon as it leaves his hand, it like shotgun shell disperses in these tiny specks of light, arc up and over about, I don't really know throwing rules, but about 100 feet is how far this goes, and you see these almost like flares disperse in different directions. With your 16, what you can tell is that where you are is actually the base of a crater or a bowl. Like, you're about halfway, if that makes sense. And everything is sort of circulating around this point.
So like the epicenter of the bowl.
Yeah. Much better word.
So then the ship is more towards the outer, like perimeter of the bowl.
Yeah. Also, if you remember, you guys fell at close to the wall of Orenbelle.
I think that this is a task for Orenbelle's guard. We should probably set up
Archaeologist down here.
with probably a security detail, and explore the perimeter of this cave.
Get us a map.
If only Tim were here.
Yeah, wow, this would be Tim would be loving this. I was like Tim.
Okay.
We'll just hear
Let's head back now.
laugh in the distance.
Okay, yeah. So you can tell that this is you have just scratched the surface of the ruins down here, and the more you guys walk, the more you can see almost like the influence of Orenbelle in the design and architecture and layout of these ruins down here.
Again,
Are
I'm
we
still
in the center or close to the center.
You're pretty much in the center.
I'm still on the lookout for any like symbols.
I got you. I wrote down your 12.
Is there anything distinct about the very center, or is it just like the center town square?
It's all destroyed at this point. But as I said, the damage that you saw previously was like universal. Everything is it's like one effect hit everything at the same time. And it does seem a bit. Actually, roll a perception check. Or an investigation check.
Investigation? No. 14.
You can tell that the fact that that everything has been pushed, that everything is in a bowl shape, is not quite natural. Like that is the one aspect of this that seems different or that stands out, is that it almost seems as though everything had been pushed down.
Oh, like it wasn't like a bowl shape to begin with. It was just like.
Roll an intelligence check.
Yeah.
Another one. Another.
Yeah, let's see that. 4.
Nope. Never mind. It's just like, I wonder. Okay, so yeah, you guys are walking back. Seeing some of the citizens in this sort of like state of stasis shock. Being careful not to go anywhere past them. Some of you have probably just through the vibrations of your walking have seen entire people just fall down into dust.
I'll push one over.
It's this woman holding her child.
Yeah, I hope you would have said that. Be at rest.
No, we'll say it was like some guy
No,
trying to snatch a
leave
purse.
it like that.
Trying
It's
to
fine.
snatch a purse?
Yeah, like this is like whatever's happening, I'm gonna be rich afterwards.
Now their soul is free to haunt you forever. Oh, no.
Oh, so these aren't the people that were in the fight with us. These are the denizens?
Picture,
Yes.
Basically
picture
like
Pompeii.
Yeah.
Pompeii, yeah.
Okay.
This is like a. Well, actually, I don't know how large Pompeii was, but this is like a very large version of
Pompeii.
Everybody is. Again, it's like imagine if Pompeii had washed over people, and then even what was left in those people was seeped from them. So this is just like you tap them or you breathe a particular way, and they. They turn to dust. Yeah, you guys are walking on your way back, and
Where are all the guards people collecting at now? I
you
imagine
can
they're
see them on
regrouping with
top
Chris
of and
Bobby.
around Balakan, the dark ship.
Yeah, I'd like to walk over there with the group.
Okay.
Like get on the ship.
Okay. Sorry. On your way back, you don't see any symbols relating to Cumentus, which you don't even really know what a symbol of Cumentus is. You've never asked that.
You don't know that.
I will say that you know that it is a sort of like a cog with the right portion taken out or just like missing, so it's a C. It's like a cog C. Cumentus, and then CUU, no Q, just letting people know. But as you guys are walking, you sort of see this. You're walking past another like a smaller town square, close to the entrance where you guys, or close to the dark ship, and actually, you guys weren't really saying that you were on the lookout. So all of you guys make a Constitution saving throw as you see like this. Well, you'll see. You'll find out.
12.
What type of throw is this?
Constitution. You got a 12? Hurt check?
4.
Yep.
18.
18. What'd you get, Thunky?
23.
Oh.
I got
So
a 4.
you all are walking towards this town square, where just on the other side, maybe like 60 feet outside of this petrified town square, you see that out of all the figures standing still, going in their paralyzed scene of terror, one is more so casually sitting on a bench, and you can see that instead of being of the same sort of collection of dust as everything else, there's almost like a cloak over it, and you hear this, and it turns. You hear the sound, and you look at it, and you turn towards its face. You can see these black vortex eyes with this black vortex mouth, and all of you looking inside of it. Herchek and Crow, you look inside of this creature's eyes, and your sight zooms inside of it and is consumed by darkness, and you fall towards the ground. 0 hit points. You both are incapacitated and unconscious right now. Varkir and Thunky, you both see this as this creature is roll. God damn it! What's the? How did I forget this term? Roll when you decide how to go.
Initiative?
Wait.
Initiative. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna use relentless
Oh
rage.
boy.
You are incapacitated. You failed your Constitution saving throw.
You can't know that.
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
It's up to you
Ha!
guys.
God,
7.
not looking good.
Okay. So. All right. So, both of you guys make another Constitution saving throw as it slowly sort of gets up, and you can see even though this is not a humanoid or a creature with living vitality inside of it, it's almost as though it has been its body has been atrophied as it's trying to get up and struggle against its own previous lethargy. And what would you roll?
5.
9.
Okay,
Maybe
so
he's friendly.
he's
Maybe he just
and
needs
he
us
goes,
to drop to 0.
you dropped your earring. I'm here to return it. Oh, you guys take 17 points of necrotic damage as its gaze pierces inside of you. You see these small, this highlighting yellow orbs look into you and just shoot out this pulse, and you feel it. And again, necrotic damage you can't heal. So what are you at? You guys are certainly not at full health.
I'm resistance necrotic, so.
17. So then
Oh, you
8
give us
points
17.
of damage.
Okay.
Was that did I say that?
8. You said 17.
Yeah, so 8 points of damage you would get. Thunky?
I'm at 35.
Okay. Varkir, you're up. As it's slowly walking towards you, you guys are about 20 feet away from it in this town square filled with various different people. And you can see sort of like Chris on the opposite side, like standing on top of some ruins and trying to reenact the battle that you imagine he witnessed, like, and all of the rest of the guards are just like sort of sitting and watching Chris display this play of his own.
The fuck are they doing?
As a bonus action, I guess, could I use healing word and try and get one of these guys up? Because I can just as long as it was in range, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you use that as a bonus action? Or is
Yeah,
that
healing
just a
word's a bonus
special
action.
feat for you?
Healing word's a bonus action. Yeah, it should be a healing bonus action. It says one
God
bonus
damn.
action. It only does 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So.
Okay, who are you healing?
I will.
Did not know
Who's
that.
closest to me? I guess.
Probably her check.
I'll look at her check and do healing words. Like mutter some nonsense, and he gains 1d4 plus 3 hit points back.
You wake up confused.
1d4 plus.
And just like, it's almost as though you had,
So you
a
get
part of
5.
you for a second thought that you had lost the battle against the Prime Shade, and you are just now waking up to try and figure out your situation. So that is a bonus action, Varkir?
Yeah, healing words bonus action.
Alright.
And then for my action, I would like to do. Where is it? I'd like to go over to Crow and do lay on hands. That's my action and heal him.
Okay.
He's going to get.
Should I roll initiative?
I already put
you'll
your
just-
initiative
you'll
down.
just get
You're
15.
you're beneath Thunky. And then Crow. Actually, your Crow is beneath Thunky. You're beneath Crow, just due to natural dexterity. Both of you come alive as soon as you drop. Almost Varkir drops to you, heals both of you, rolls over to Crow, heals him, and then Thunky, you are up. Unless you want to do something with your movement, Varkir.
For my movement, I am just going. Can I raise my shield so I don't look at that thing's face, kind of?
You can avert your gaze as a free action, yeah.
Okay, then I'll just like avert my gaze from it, like don't look at it.
You hear him say this.
Yeah.
Okay, Thunky, you're up.
Do I have use of my teardrop staff or no?
You do, yeah. Roll wisdom, or sorry, roll a Constitution saving throw though.
Oh. No. 15.
Okay. You aren't immediately incapacitated.
Thank goodness.
You take 8 points of necrotic damage.
Oh.
That's not, or that is halved. So
Oh.
that's the total damage that you take. 8 points. As it's this continuous onslaught. As you look at this creature, you can't help but look away, or you can't help but look at it. And yeah, it's just pulsing this death wave over you.
I'm gonna be like, no, you, and then cast lightning bolt on him.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage. What does it roll?
No,
yeah.
let's see. Dexterity.
Dexterity. Oh, it fails.
Cool. Let me get a dice roll.
It's like, imagine the scariest things of Ocarina of Time, the zombies that latch onto you, but with wearing like this these rags and this cloak just hanging off of him and waving from side to side.
Where did he go?
Scariest things.
Yeah, fuck those things.
25 points.
25 points. Okay.
It dies.
No, the lightning shoots across the courtyard, or shoots across the square, and you can see some people, as lightning strikes out, just get disintegrated in the blast that were already pretty much done for, and it strikes through him, burns a hole in his cloak, and exits the other side and slams into the building. Dust falling off of him, and you can see him just like slouching even more, but walking towards you guys all the same, eyes open, mouth.
So it went straight through. That's not normal, right?
No, you can see the effect of him. Yeah.
Oh.
Chris,
The
hear that?
effect of him.
Did the guards hear that?
I
Yeah,
rolled
what
a
are they
perception.
doing?
I rolled a perception
Did I
check
not
for
see
them
it?
last time, and it didn't. Oh,
cast
okay.
a
Yeah,
large
that
lightning bolt.
you as Chris does his like finishing blow for the Prime Shade, he lands on top of the building and looks over in your direction as he hears the and you just see him like wave his arms in your direction. Come on! It's just like people start jumping back on their mounts, and they will go at the end of this turn. Crow, you're up. Or you have a bonus action and movement if you want to do it.
Is there any cover?
Oh yeah, there are buildings within walking distance. Like if you spent your turn going behind a building, you could do that. But also you heard Varkir say avert your gaze, and you've noticed that just looking at this creature has affected you negatively. Like there's been no physical effect that has passed between you two to cause this. It's just been like this mental torment looking at him.
That's fine. I'd like to find like a half wall or something.
Okay, there's like what used to be stone benches circling a fountain in this town square. And you slide by it.
I'd like to have my back against the half wall and then take out something reflective, like a mirror. Do I have a mirror? Can I have a mirror? Can I have a mirror in my camping supplies? Let's see. Maybe
Roll.
in my tinderbox or in my mess kit. Mess kit! You gotta have a mirror for like shaving my beard, because I'm a woman with a beard.
Roll a persuasion check on your DM.
It's gonna be pretty high. Good luck.
Okay, hold on. Alright, I got this.
And remember, this creature is highly arbitrary, so it can almost not even matter what you roll.
20.
Yeah, you're fumbling, in and out of like your pockets, your things. You're trying to look for whatever, but it might be reflective in here. You like pull out a flask, and you're like, not reflective enough. You throw it back in. You pull out a particularly reflective piece of like wood, and you're like, no, and you put that back in, and you finally find your mess kit mirror and throw it up.
Okay, I'm looking at him in the mirror.
All right.
See if that works.
Crow, you're up.
Can I pull out my SUV?
What is the very first? What are you doing?
Drive away.
I'm gonna try and shoot 2 darts at it.
Okay, roll a Constitution saving throw. As you pull your arm back and find your target, you go black again and drop to 0 hit points. You are passed out. Her check.
I'm gonna take out. What am I gonna take out? I'm gonna take out my things. I'm gonna take out the red handles Tempest while it like shielding my eyes.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna try to look at its feet, and I'm just gonna cast the pillar in his direction.
Okay. Do you roll for that, or does he?
I believe that he rolls for it and has to make a DC save.
All right. He will just roll at advantage. He makes it.
Okay, so he takes half damage. Well, how far away is he?
He's about 25 feet.
Okay, cool.
This is why it pays to be vigilant and on the lookout in places you've never been before. And especially places like this.
12, 15, 16, so 8
We
points.
can talk about this later.
8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Is there something that you said that I missed that made you particularly vigilant?
Yeah, I thought that all of the life forms in this area were kind of siphoned into the Prime Shade, so there wouldn't be anything else in
This
the
is not
immediate
your
area?
traditional, this is not an old denizen of this area. This is this is something foreign to you. Yeah.
It's not a life form, apparently.
Oh, it's a life form, but it's different for the old denizens. There's a different connection for them. It's like there were bats before. There's still creatures that live down here, but they haven't necessarily died. So their energy hasn't been was not siphoned into the Prime Shade. Okay, bonus action.
Shield my eyes completely.
Yeah.
Just like looking completely down.
Okay. You see at this moment just like about 20 arrows and 5 javelins and a combination of this like tornado of fire, ice, and wind just spiral into this whatever this thing was that assailed you guys at the finish line, and it just disappears in this hail. It's just like again, just like this onslaught of arrows and javelins also insert into the now what is like this mummified, destroyed husk. And it just goes to sleep forever. Bobby is just like running from rooftop to rooftop, and like one of the rooftop partially collapses underneath his foot, and he like slides off, like shoulder checks into the wall underneath. He falls, slams into the wall in a building nearest in the Times Square, and rights himself, and then just like runs up to you guys and goes, "Hey, who? I saw every second of that battle. I'm glad we could come in handy here for you. You look terrible. So, how was it?"
Are you the reinforcements coming now?
Look, we got here, or they, I should say more accurately, got here in about, like 42 seconds. You realize every turn is about 6 seconds, and it only took you
what
about...
do you mean turn, Bobby?
Life is a game with which I need to be victorious, you see.
So, but you failed. We won.
You're gonna hear circuitry, like.
Yeah. Reinforcements got here in less than a minute, is my point. Which is a very good time to be called down into a place that was foreign to us only a few hours ago.
Well, this is a dangerous place. We need more down here to explore.
I want to get the hell out of here.
We need to leave.
I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to cast Healing Word on.
Okay. Oh, Crow is still down.
Yeah.
You see this? And I point at
Somebody
Crow,
tend to
more,
your Crow.
How do you think it went?
Well, I'm just glad that
God
Oren's Obliterate
damn it,
was
Bobby.
here to answer, first of all.
Yes, that is well. Can we take...
What was that giant creature
It was
sleeping underneath Orenbelle, underneath our very noses?
Prime Shade. Have you heard of it? They roll a history check.
I've heard rumors of prime shades, but I thought that they were just myths, really.
And I show him the tattoo. I was like, no, we took one out before. This is a second one now.
Right.
Ever impressive.
Oh.
Was that a prime shade
Yes.
that we just destroyed?
Not you. No, not that thing. No, I don't know what that was.
No
It wasn't.
tattoo for us, then.
You put some dust on you. I take some dust from the ground. And
Don't you do it. Don't.
right on his armor.
Do you really?
No. Wouldn't do that to Babby.
Like P.S. Prime Shade.
You all better take care of yourselves. We will escort you back to the surface.
Hold on. I take 10 minutes to heal everybody real fast.
10 minutes.
It's what's required for the spell.
Okay,
It's
so
10 minutes prayer of healing.
we've got a bit of time here.
Fan out.
Fan.
T-
I
fan out.
am a
No,
big fan of Oren's Obliterate.
Stay here.
No. Like, take your guards, and I just be like, fan out.
No, this needs to be.
I'm in charge
a
here.
little bit different. I love your how zealous you are about this, but this needs to be thought about carefully. We've never been here before, and so it'd be foolish to just wildly run into the ruins like I had in about, a few minutes ago.
Need 2 more D8s.
I think that this entire crevasse needs to be lit.
Oh, we'll get it lit. It'll be like the Matrix 2.
Oh. Party in Zion. Send me an invite.
So Sir Crow, you you recommend lighting these caverns.
16, 17, 18, 19.
Is there any other
Everybody gets
advice you can give us
19.
before we send
Everybody
our
gets 19.
security and researchers down here?
Everybody gets 19. 19. 19.
Everybody gets 19 points back. Remember, any necrotic damage you took, though, cannot be healed until you rest.
Yeah.
Which is like all of your damage.
Yeah, it's like 70 points of my damage is necrotic. I think only 5 points or freaking. Yeah, we're freaking.
Yeah, probably. If all of your
bludgeoning.
damage is necrotic, you have this very just intense feeling of fatigue and hurt, and it's like you've got a perpetual fever, like the worst fever that a warforged could have. And like part of your like forearm plating just slides off and hits the ground.
I'll pick up
That's
your loose
disgusting.
pieces.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry Crow. Like a princess.
It feels nice at first. You can decide to.
Don't want you falling apart, Crow. Don't die on me, Crow. Don't die on me! Crow!
Camaraderie. I like that.
Get us out of here, Bobby!
Bobby's not by you. Chris is by you right now. Bobby went up to talk to Kunbara to report to her the situation that happened down here. He knew that it was in good hands so long as you all were down
Get
here.
us out of here, Chris.
But he was just
I thought we
so
were
quick
talking
in
to
trying
Bobby
to.
too.
No, Bobby's the Australian.
I thought we were talking to Bobby the whole time.
We've all
Did
been.
I say Bobby? No, I
Yeah.
said
No,
Chris.
I said
I can't
Bobby. That's why I was
remember.
like Bobby.
I'm gonna review the tapes. I'm pretty sure I said Chris.
That's also why I was like, God damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby.
Well-
I could be completely wrong.
Well, Chris Bob, get us out of here.
All right, flyers.
More people down here.
Griffin Guard, set up a perimeter.
Griffin Guard.
Basilisk Squadron, take these heroes up to get a night's rest that they deserve. Maybe there's even a reward in it for you. An unknown threat to the city taken out is worth something, isn't it?
1,000 gold each.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And yeah, you see the basilisks just sort of like crawl on top of the buildings and down, the buildings crumbling beneath their each step they make, and they sort of like right themselves in front of each one of you.
I gently put Crow onto it, and I get behind him and hold him oh so tight.
They're not like they're. You are not piloting these. There is a guard on top
Yeah.
that will take you.
Okay.
So it's the
I just-
guard and then Crow and then
And
you
me,
behind the.
And then I'm holding on to the guard.
Well, this is
Just get us out of here.
oddly. Yeah.
I'd like to get on one, but also cast Animal Friendship.
What does it roll?
Wisdom saving throw?
It's the light over there.
It rolled a 4.
Yay!
But it knows that you cast that after how long?
It only ends if someone harms the animal.
There's not a duration?
Oh wait. 24 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Yours goes from like as soon as you crawl onto it, it gets like a little bit rigid and stiff, and you almost see this like curl of teeth as it looks over its shoulder at the unwelcome guest, and then you just like place your hands on its back, and you see the curl of teeth turn into this like smile, and these wide like glistening eyes turn over towards you, and then it just like nods its head and woof,
Yay!
flies off and does like a few different elegant spins and twirls and dips before it spins out of the entrance. And Thunky and you all at a decent pace behind her follow as you leave the cavern that almost ended your lives, except for her check, of course.
Do I know the name?
Never
can,
me.
Can I know the name of this basilisk?
You can ask the guy.
What's your name?
You cast animal friendship, not speak with animals.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna have this conversation in my head. Terry. Yeah, Terry. And then we're gonna do a Falcor.
No.
And the guy is like it's like,
No.
I'm sorry, this basilisk isn't responding to me. And he's just like, it's going wild, and it's just like flying through the sky, like finding a cloud to go through to like sort of like wave on top of. And yeah, as your basilisk just jump out of the opening and land on the grassy ground of the Belladonna system, you see Thunky's just like bing disappear off into the clouds with her yelling, "Yay! Yay!" Okay, what are you
Good
guys up
end
to?
a horrible fight.
Do we see Bobby up
Koltessa
here?
appears right in front of you. And
Oh God.
just kidding.
Do we see Bobby and Kunbara?
No, you do not.
Oh. Who's around here? Is it just
There's like a perimeter of just like regular guards at this point, and there's one person in charge of them.
say we? Well, is he Varkir is next to us now?
Yeah, Verkeer's
Well, as soon as Thunky gets back, we should probably head back and definitely take a few breathers.
I'll just meet up with you guys.
Aren't we already back in Orenbelle?
Yeah, we need to go back to the fancy main.
But-
There's nothing else to do tonight. What
Shows
time is
me
it?
where
Is it dark out?
Yes, it is dark out.
Yeah,
it
it's
was like
nothing.
it was only moonlight since you were down there, so
Yeah.
it's like this consistent. It was this consistent pillar of moonlight, and so now it's maybe like. Actually, roll
Time check.
just intelligence check straight up.
3.
Time check. That must be in the early hours of the morning. It must be like the amount of fatigue that you feel. Yeah, like 3 a.m.
Yeah, well, yeah, we need to go back.
in fantasy.
There's
time.
nothing for us to do around here. Let's. Yeah. Can I? Where do I see in the immediate area? Do I see the flag?
The flag is down under in the caverns because Thunky grabbed it.
Wait,
But
what?
she, flew it up here.
No, I thought.
We
Did
won.
you fly it up?
Yeah, out of spite.
Oh yeah, you can just see it. Sorry, then you can just see it like on the ground, like nobody's paid attention to it.
All right. I go grab it real quick.
Okay.
And then I get back on the basilisk and I tell the guard, like, to the fancy main, please.
Right away, her check.
That was a different voice. It's a different rider now.
Oh, I thought no. The writer never said anything to
Yeah,
you.
he did.
The writer
No, he did.
the writer was talking to Thunky.
What? No.
No, my voice has been this way the whole time. Her check, I'm
right.
afraid.
All right. You're
All
great.
right, fancy main.
Fancy
You want to be
main.
dropped off on top?
Be
you
so
know?
kind, yes.
Okay, right away, her check. Whoosh.
Does he make that noise?
Yeah, I just feel it accentuates the experience, you know?
Yep. All right, we're going to go silent. Crow's badly hurt, and he needs his quiet time.
Right, lot of heroes, that is. Real honor transport you, her
Yep,
check.
a lot of quiet
Any
time.
advice you
right
can get me?
now,
Okay.
quiet time.
Oh,
Lot of quiet time.
you guys
Find
make
me
it
in the
to
pits.
you guys make it to the. You will. I will. I'll remember that, her check. You and me.
Yeah,
private
in the
session.
pits. Now
Okay.
it's quiet time.
And there's this is a pretty big creature, and you can see that the fancy mane is there's almost like no appropriate place to land, and he's like, "Whoa, you
Hover.
on top."
Hover, I'll jump down with Crow.
Well, that's particularly badass, if you ask me. All right, cool. You teach me that one day, will you?
Take notes.
Bust out a. He's just like looking at you now.
Okay, I'm gonna put Crow on my back, and I'm gonna get as low as possible.
All right.
And I jump off.
Okay, roll an acrobatics check.
Natural 18.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. Land on both of your, just like you did after slicing the wrist of the prime shade. Just both legs land. The small amount of dust that was on the floor just billows away, and Crow is in your arms. You
I
comfort him.
look back at the gang and point at it.
He like grabs his heart and like whips his head backwards, and he just like looks at you like wow, and he mouths like promise.
Head back! Help them out!
Takes off. Farkir, do you join them?
I've already gone back to the fancy name. I thought it was following his baskets to the fancy
Yeah, I'm
name.
just asking if you're joining them. If you were hopping off with her check.
Yeah. Not. Yeah.
Roll a dexterity or an acrobatics check.
Oh my goodness. Can I just fly a little bit closer?
Yeah.
No.
Use the red one.
No.
You haven't used that one yet.
What?
I told you to use it.
It's like
Roll that one right
It's like,
now. I want you to roll it.
That's for damage. Not for damage. I mean, that's for like
Attacking.
Attacking. Yeah.
he belly flops, taking 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, God.
Still
On
getting
top
used
of
to your body, huh?
a table
Fuck
where
you.
dwarves were drinking, just destroys the entire table, sending drinks and everything flying. And what's your damage at right now? You were just brought back to life. How are you not dead right now? Like what
He just healed
you?
himself.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah,
healed,
you're right.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, calm it down over there.
He's like, how? I'll kill him one day.
Still have 18 more points of health left.
Okay, fine. And yeah, the dwarves just like scatter backwards. Oi, who is it? Oh, Varkir, are ya?
Hello.
You hell of an entrance. You gonna buy us a drink to make up for your damage
Not
here?
in the slightest.
I shouldn't have expected nothing less of you, Varkir.
Yeah, probably should have seen that coming. Saw you at your table and everything. You ruined my clothes more than you, so
As I'm just
it's
going.
another victory. And I walk off.
I'm just going in like
Yeah.
Melvin, yeah, the drinks to the. That's fucked up.
And another one of the other dwarves who you haven't recognized before, who doesn't look familiar, goes, "Oi, what you doing? I'm gonna get him. He can't just get away with that." And the other dwarf goes, "No, you can't do that. You don't know who that is. He's responsible for a lot of death and destruction and brash.
No.
You shouldn't go around messing with those people."
Whatever you heard about me is completely false. All right, those rumors are baseless.
I see. He is asking for it now. No. I've seen him at work.
Baseless.
And he's just like sort of trying to pacify his friend at this point, just like holding him back.
Away.
And his friend is just like holding the handle to a broken mug. He's like, ah! Okay, what do you guys? You three,
I'm
you're
carrying
pretty
Crow
much
to his room,
not that great.
to his coffin.
Okay, walk down the stairs. And you notice, like, as you get to his room, he's just he's turned off. And you just sort of like rest him in his coffin equivalent.
I molest him.
How do you molest him?
I just touch his lips and just. Did well.
And you do notice in like this very sort of like
Yeah.
this quiet moment with moonlight passing through the only window in the room, you can see the destruction on him and sort of like how much he went through and pushed himself in the last fight to be able to take down this prime shade. And he will definitely need some tending to in the morning.
Yeah, I'll just give him a nice little tap in the chest, like, you did good, Crow. Thank you. Rest up. I'll see you in the morning.
All right, Farkir, what are you up to?
What I'm up to, I guess I am going to look around my room and probably see that everything's changed. All the stuff's been, moved around, and I'm just like, oh yes, I remember this now.
Yeah, can I go to his room?
Sure. Like you see Farkir almost like just pass by Crow's room, not even looking inside, and this happens as you sort of fist bump Crow's unconscious body, and you just walk back to join him.
Yeah, I'll close Crow's door. Like, what, Varkir?
Hmm.
What's going on, man? What's going on with you? What's what with this radical
Same as
change?
always.
you-
Same as
are
it's
you-
the same thing that happened last time. Or there's nothing.
No, what is that? What does that mean? I don't know these. Like, you were just a different person. Now that you're this person.
If I
What does
knew
that
how
mean?
it completely happened, I would tell you. Do I look like some all-knowing person? No.
Kinda,
No,
yeah. I
that's it.
mean,
I don't.
you hold yourself
I
to
don't.
that standard.
don't
You're
look
always
like
high
that.
and mighty.
I am not a scholar.
So what's So what is this now?
What?
Where's your,
This is
you got a bird?
This is
What's going on? You know, we gotta go back to Bresh. We fucked up Bresh.
okay. I don't.
Is that the Varkir that I know?
But it's the same Valkyrie as
No,
now.
I just knew another Varkir. A whole nother Varkir I didn't know.
Unless you didn't
I
notice
hate that
any of the
Varkir.
changes
How did that Varkir
so
come to
you
be?
didn't notice any of the changes that took place when I changed. So are you not seeing any difference?
No,
in my
I know
appearance
there's a
at all?
difference now, but you gotta explain to me that difference. How did that happen and now you're back? Were you witnessing this? Everything? Is this a subconscious split personality? I'm a slow learner. Teach me something.
No. I will not teach you anything. I will tell you there are two me's. One good, one bad.
Okay.
This is me. This is me now. This is all you need to know.
Is this the good you? I'm gonna
What?
say it's the good you.
Sure.
I don't like that other
good
you.
Good is subjective. It's
Yeah.
it's subjective.
Yeah, the other
it's
you was
subjective.
the other you was kind of meh.
I further the ends to my needs, to what my God needs. The other me is just a.
Puss cake.
In your terms, maybe yes. But I can't find ample means to describe him in my own words.
How does that switch happen? Does it just say spell abracadabra?
Does it look like I control it? If it was a spell and I could control it, I would be constantly the one person.
Why is
If
it?
I couldn't, then it would flip flop randomly.
Do you know why it happens?
Not really. This is the second time it's happened, so.
You may remember that he brought up Valden before, as he rushed towards the eyeball and cracked it for no reason. Apparently.
Yeah. You mentioned a name, Valdini.
Yes, he was one of my old comrades, Valden. Yes, that's a story for another time.
Well, we have time. I just go, Pinky.
We
Bust
don't
out the
have
hot
too much
chocolate.
time,
Come out here.
'cause I need rest to regain my strength, and I believe so do you as well.
Well, I'm fit as a fiddle. 100,000 plus health.
From the look of things, that's completely wrong. But
Bicep falls off.
yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad to have you back, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I walk away.
Let me fix all this.
I close the door behind me, and then I go to Melvin.
Okay. Again, you perceive it to be maybe like 3:30 in the morning at this point, so it's a late night for you.
Yep.
But the fancy man is oddly more active than it should be at this time of night.
I just go, Melvin, a drink.
Ah, you got it, Hurchek. What is it this time? Just like,
the hard stuff.
you know what? And he looks at the mug that he was cleaning.
What?
Here you
Hurchek
go.
is like taken back by this. Like, whoa,
You can see his hand
Melvin.
just like twitching towards like the cleaning motion, and he just like goes into
fancy
the.
man
I
starts to
like-
shake, lose its form, like. Oh no!
like
quickly!
reach behind the like hand him a glass like an empty one.
And he tries. He's it's just not the same, you know. Enjoy.
I pound it.
Can I go to sleep?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, pound it and hand him back the glass really quickly. Like, thank you, Melvin. I know that was tough for you, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Is there anything special about the brew I just drank, since it was in this cup?
No, the cup was special, not the brew. It's the brew is your typical.
Oh.
What you choose.
It didn't do anything to the brew. Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Sentimental, really,
It tastes like satisfaction.
with an emphasis on sad.
Dissatisfaction. Satisfaction.
Sad dissatisfaction.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna bid you adieu. Then I just wanted the drink. Thank you.
I just off. Okay.
Good night.
Good night, Hurchek.
Have a
Take
good
care of
morning.
yourself.
It's early in the morning, apparently.
You must have gone through a lot.
What?
I'll,
What time is it, Melvin?
Oh, it's like 10.
In
10
the
p.m.
morning?
10 p.m.
I'll take breakfast then, Melvin.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I think you should get some rest. It's
Yeah, just sleep right there. I'm not gonna go to my room.
Yeah. You'll have to tell me what happened to you all later. Crow looked...
Literally.
Yeah,
like he had been
Overheating.
melted by
he had a
something.
meltdown.
Yes. I look forward to hearing all about it. Good night, Urchek. Rest up.
I slammed my head on the bar. Just go sleep.
Do you sleep at the bar?
Yeah.
Okay. You feel this like in the last moments of your consciousness, this sort of like warm fabric lie over your
Aw.
persons.
Melvin.
Okay. Thunky, what are you doing? How long do you indulge
Yeah. And
Not
5
long.
minutes
in
later,
this?
it's like,
Yeah, you see the guard is like fed up at this point. He's just giving up. His arms are crossed and he's just like he's not even holding the reins anymore. And he's like I've lost complete control. Please
Okay.
bring us back to
I'll
Orenbelle.
just take his shoulders and be like, get into the spirit, man.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh.
No, I'm not going to. This doesn't fit me, alright? He's acting completely different. I raised this guy. From birth almost, and he's
Oh,
acting
whatever,
completely.
you
You
party
step on for
pooper.
1 second,
And I'm gonna
and he's a
tell-
completely different basilisk.
I'm gonna tell the
And now I
basilisk
don't
to
even
head
know.
back.
And he's like, "You see that? I have no control. I thought we were friends, really, but I guess not.
Maybe if you weren't such a party pooper, maybe you'd have a better
I
relationship.
am not a party pooper. I'm a soldier. I'm a god of Orenbelle. You respect me, unlike this basilisk." And you guys,
That's when you gotta start throwing around that rank.
Off
Like,
to
I
the
am
glue factory,
Thunky.
eh?
Huh?
off to the
You
glue
gotta be like, I
factory.
am
Glue
Thunky,
factory.
beer
Glue
bot of
factory?
Oren's
It's like horses.
Obliterate. You peasant.
I don't get that at all.
Turn horses to glue.
I'm just too
do
happy
what?
that I'm flying around on a basilisk.
Whatever.
Can I have the basilisk fly up to like my window
Sure, and
and then do a tail flip and flip me into the window?
sure, yeah. It's like a what is it, like Aladdin like sliding off the rug?
Yeah.
into and yeah, he's like the guard is like, "Did you know that basilisks shouldn't even know how to fly?"
Oh, wait, what?
Isn't that confusing?
I'm gonna
And-
be like, yeah, isn't that weird?
It's just totally crazy. All right, have a nice night.
And now you guys are friends.
I'm just gonna be at the window like, bye.
And he's like, finally listening to me again. Fuck that bitch.
I'm gonna remember that guy.
he was a curmudgeon for sure. Okay, the night passes. When do you guys want to wake up respectively?
10:30.
I was gonna say like 10ish.
Can I wake up?
I have no concept of time, so whenever.
Wake up a little earlier, I guess, and try and put that wisdom gem. Like,
Didn't you already have
I
the
just
wisdom?
put-
gem?
yeah, I've had the wisdom gem, but I just never attuned to it. So,
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
don't you have to like put it somewhere on you, or can you put it on an item or anything like that?
You can put it wherever you want, really. You just have to. It's more so on you though. You'd have to do an extra amount of research to imbue it onto a specific item, or you'd have to have
I just
that
like
crafted.
make it into a ring or something like that. Just
Can
right.
you make?
It's
Yes,
just a
you'd have to.
gem.
You'd have to go to a craftsman or an enchanter to be able to do something like that. Like on your person, you just literally meditate or just like think about its integration into your body, and it will happen organically. Anything outside of that doesn't have a mind of its own, it won't be able to.
Will it stay on the outside, or will it go in all the way through?
It'll stay on the outside.
Oh, okay.
It's also known as the gems that you were given are also supposed to be that like badge of honor and status in Orenbelle. It's almost like look, I'm a celebrity. I should be respected. Do you see this? Do you see this gem? That's what I thought.
Can I just put it on my shoulder, like above Rahum's mark or the Prime Shade tattoo, whichever? I guess
You
above,
don't have a
I
Prime
guess
Shade
above
tattoo right
I guess
now.
above Rahum's mark. So
Yeah.
yeah, so just put it there and meditate for an hour because I guess I wanted to wake up a little earlier since I went to bed.
Okay.
Early.
It was, I believe, purple in color as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have the blue Rahum's mark and then the purple. What?
Nothing.
It's, if I remember correctly, it's whatever color you want it to be.
So that just embeds itself in my armor. What does it do? Like 1 plus wisdom or something? Or
It is, yeah, +1 to your modifier for wisdom.
okay. How do I add that to this?
I will have to again make that addition. I think Crow's was +1 to Constitution. Thunky's was +1 to. No, hers. I think yours might have been Charisma. I forget. Do you
Let me
remember?
look.
And then yours is definitely Strength.
It was wisdom. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
With the crystal embedded, you'll finally not be slobbering when you just stand still.
Yep, that's her check. Man, what are we gonna do, Kunbara? That's good old her check. The simple fellow.
Yeah, whenever it was like a whole person spell.
Well, we just did like a voiceover of everything he says in this campaign.
I rage!
Her check disappears.
Her check is overwhelmed by sadness and puts a rucksack over his shoulder and walks away.
Playing his own sad music.
Okay, so you wake up at like 8, 9 to insert the wisdom gem into your shoulder. Everybody else wakes up at around similar time. You all groggily walk up the steps, sort of like meeting each other either in the hallways or on your way at various points on your journey to the top of the fancy main, the open air tavern.
Sorry. I have a question later. No, I won't ask it now. Sorry. I was
Okay.
thinking of the question. It made me laugh.
All right.
Okay.
Remember that question. It's a little bit darker outside. It's more of a cloudy day as opposed to the normal bright blue sky, birds chirping. It's gray clouds overhead. It's hard to actually discern what time of day it is currently. There's not a lot of people in the tavern in the fancy main currently because of this weather. Pardon me, particularly. It's pretty brisk as well outside.
I just abruptly wake up. Melvin, what time is it?
Oh yeah, I forgot you're sleeping in the morning. Oh, Herchek, you've been asleep for about 12 hours.
Where's
It's
my
been
breakfast?
a hell of a time.
I need breakfast.
You wake up to it in your face.
I was hoping that was gonna happen.
No, you actually wake up to the smell of it,
Sweet. Perfect.
and you hear like this foggy like, oh, it's about time. As in like it's Melvin saying, in your almost near unconscious state, like, oh, it's about time for him for them to come down here. Here's some breakfast.
He doesn't heard about her. All right, perfect. I'm eating breakfast, just chilling.
Okay, what are you guys up to as Thunky groggily walks up and Crow, in a slightly better state, walks up, but still he's got sort of like the edges of his plating are black and charred, and yeah, it's been like he's went through a vat of acid.
Morning, Crow.
How's it going, Crow? Look low. Yep. Yep. Kunbara. Yep. I have a I have a task that I have to handle, so I'm gonna hand you the bag of holding with Pinky in it. It's got all the stuff. My task won't be long. I'll meet you at Comanches' house.
I'll come with you.
Varkir, are you with them?
I guess I would come down when everybody gets out of their rooms and go and listen to this, and yeah, I'd be found. And I'd remember, I guess, a horse and be like, oh, yes. Walk over to Mel and be like, is there still a horse outside for me?
Yes, it's your horse.
Thank you. Thank you. Which stall is it in? Oh, yeah, I remember which stall it's in. Never mind. Thank you.
Name's
very much.
Tiffany.
I know its name. I know
You
its
really
name.
love dyeing your hair, Varkir.
I do. Thank you. Yes.
It's
yes,
encouraging.
I
You know,
keep
I'm
thinking
getting kind of sick of black.
This shade of red is very good, I think. It brings out the color in my eyes.
Yeah, you also change a little bit. It seems as though you're a bit more confident when you dye your hair.
Yes.
I also don't feel like trusting you quite as much, but you know.
That's a fact. You know, that's a fact. The white hair, wisdom. People think I'm smarter than I am. The red hair, blood. People, get these dots in their hair that it's a little more dangerous. Yeah. These things happen,
Same feed for your bird?
No more feed for my bird. I gave it to my nephew.
Ah, grand.
Yes.
What a happy present.
Yes, great. Continuing on, I'll go see my horse now.
Right, so. Okay, so what do you want to do with your horse? Then we'll do her check.
I'm
and
just
then
continuing with them. I just remembered my horse. I just wanted to see if it was still there.
Okay. All right, her check. Let's tackle your task first, and then we'll meet up at Comanches' place.
Poop.
Poop break.
Yes, we can. We can take a break. All right, SASANs, we will be back in immediately or after the character in background stories. Until fate next brings us together, which should be now. Wow, perfect timing, Midna. Welcome, Midna Assassin. Okay, you all were gathered in the fancy main. You had business to attend to. Varkir is accompanying you all. Her check is. What are you doing, her check?
I'm heading towards the twisted crystal.
Okay. Are you with her check, or are you going with Crow?
I thought they were both going to the same place.
No, her check's going to the twisted crystal and then meeting Crow.
No, if Funky's already going with Crow, then I guess I'll go with her check.
Okay. Varkir is tagging along, Darkir, and you know where it is. It doesn't take you very long to get there. You actually take one of the gondolas to get there that splits through all the districts.
Did you still see the crushed mailbox? Or
The mailbox was the nobody destroyed the mailbox.
I thought he destroyed the mailbox because
No,
was asking
he
questions.
he didn't actually do it.
He
'cause he was
eavesdropping.
eavesdropping.
Yeah, he crushed the mailbox.
No, there's actually, as you guys walk up, the neighbor is. I don't think he actually destroyed his mailbox, but either way, he's repairing his mailbox and he's looking over and he's just like, minding my own business. I'm minding my
over
own
there?
business. No. I don't.
How do you know we were walking over here?
Who are you
were
again? I don't
creeping
even.
us out, huh?
I don't even know.
Staring at us?
You got business? You should probably tend to it.
Oh, now you know we have business.
And he just like shuts his mailbox, like picks up his tools and walks inside of his establishment. And you hear the.
What is this establishment?
It's man, what would he be? He's selling wicker baskets.
Wow, so lame.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of wicker baskets, and his home is actually wicker as well. He's
It's a
just
non-profit.
yeah. Okay, he just gives them away. Okay, so you walk up to the twisted crystal, and you notice something weird that wasn't there. That wasn't like that last time. It's still on the center of the bridge, but the bridge connecting the residential with the mercantile districts, and his door is completely shattered. But what you notice on his door is just a sign that says closed. indefinitely.
Can I open it?
Yeah.
Open it.
It's not locked. It's just open. The inside is empty.
Is the door glass?
The door was glass. It was a wooden door with a
What are you doing right now?
crap. What's it called?
She knows.
Stained glass.
Are the pieces
Like
of
most
stained glass-
all the exterior is stained glass except for the portions where it shows on the inside what his creations were at the time. Now it's just empty shelves. And on the on the desk, on his sort of like welcome and exchange desk, is a very beautifully crafted ship. Made out of glass, except the mast is broken and it's like leaning down. It's just like placed on this silk napkin next to it.
Is there any like notes on the desks or anything?
No, there's
I just
nothing.
want to do like let's go Varkir. I mean, I don't know what happened here. He had a nice business going of glass. He was gonna make me ships. Like this one was great. Other than the mask, like what am I gonna do with this?
Perhaps it's a message.
Well, I mean,
Is
you can roll an investigation check to.
I'd like to just search the whole building.
Is there enough glass on the outside of the stained glass window to like pick it up and maybe piece it back together, or is it just like broken?
Yeah, you roll an investigation check and you roll an investigate. Both of you do.
10. Okay. Actually, 11.
10.
11.
Investigation?
Oh.
So
Yeah.
14.
14. Okay, so you actually all the glass is there. It's definitely shattered. It's all on the outside as though it had exploded outward. And just like sprinkled on the steps leading up to it. You can tell just sheerly of the mass of glass that like all of it, nobody even tried to clean it up. Some of it's broken even more as though someone was probably in a hurry to get out. You don't notice much. You almost, looking at the ship itself, it almost seems like it had been as hastily and expertly made as possible, and the cracked mass might have just been a mistake in the process of trying to make this as quickly as possible. And he is now gone, and the only thing that he left was this glass ship. So infer what you may.
I mean, like I gave him plenty of time. I don't know why he decided to rush it. I mean,
Not sure. This is very fine glass here, though.
right? It was like seemed to be the best.
Is that mast? Does it like move, or is it just like made broken like that, or is it like can it move? Can be fixed by just like pushing it up like that?
Okay, roll an investigation check.
Maybe we should ask like the neighboring shops where he went.
5.
You have no idea. It just looks
Alright,
like, oh, it's separate. It is broken
Can you
at a
fix
clear.
this? 'Cause it
I
doesn't look
can't-
like
I
it doesn't
can't
look like
fix
it,
this.
it doesn't look like you could
I
fix
have
it to me. I
no-
mean, I
no
don't know if
idea
anybody
about
could
glass.
just tie the mast back together or something. Isn't that what you do with ships normally? You just tie
Yeah.
it back together.
I know. Come on. This had to
It's
be
a mini ship.
It had to be
Just
pristine.
put a tie on it. It'll give it character.
Look, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna put it in a bag.
It'll give it character.
And
All
let's-
ships need
let's-
character.
Let's go next door.
A perfect ship will not sail on the sea. All right.
We gotta ask what's going on, like where this guy went, because this ship was good. Now it's like he
So
tipped
next door is
me off.
the wicker maker, and then next
I'm-
to him is the bonsai tree
I'm gathering up all the
seller.
glass pieces of the glass.
Yeah, I was gonna like you go to the
Okay.
wicker maker. I'm gonna go to the bonsai. We'll split this up. Just ask where this guy went, what happened. I'm not on good terms with the wicker guy. Actually, I probably am gonna be on good terms with the wicker guy. I go to the wicker guy with him.
You knock on the door, no answer.
I knock very sternly.
His wicker is shaking.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Well, hey, how can I? Yeah,
Hey,
what's
what
up?
happened
and it's
to
like
him?
The door opens just slightly, and it's just like darkness, and you see one eyeball looking out. It's like, yeah,
What
do you
happened
want?
to him?
Him? Who him?
The glassmaker.
Oh, now you're curious. My curiosity was what? A blight to your consciousness.
You were
and then-
eavesdropping.
and
This
now
is-
you're curious about what's going on here, and
I'm
I'm supposed to
slowly
answer
pull
you.
out the Starlight Conqueror.
Roll an intimidation check.
At advantage.
Who's to say?
It's
Not
natural 17.
Look, there's no need to get violent here.
I just
okay?
asked a
I-
very
you-
simple question of where he is. Or
He
where
left
he
in
went.
a hurry.
Why?
As soon as he could.
Do you know? Were you friends?
All I know is there was this dwarf that left. I think it was a female. Had mutton chops though. I'm not sure. And
That could
she
be a little-
completely destroyed his door. To be perfectly honest, a lot of us in this area were kind of happy when that happened. He's
Have you
sort of
seen her
known to
have
be a
you
little-
seen this person before?
what person?
The
person
dwarf.
who came out.
I think so. She seemed vaguely familiar. He, whatever it might have been. So
Like you're
sorry.
describing a lot of dwarfs right now, which doesn't really help. But I do appreciate it. I do.
Oh, thank you. You appreciate something. It's good. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I have.
One quick
Okay,
question.
are we done here?
The blacksmith in this area. What can he work on?
What can he
I know
work
what
on?
he can
That
work on, never
seems
mind.
absurdly
I've talked
unrelated.
to him before. Never mind. I know what he can work on. He can do glass. He's done obsidian for me before, so we're fine.
All right. Well,
Oh, wait, never mind.
thank you.
That was the glass blower.
And
who did the
let's
obsidian.
get
Are we
outta
off
here.
to a good start?
Yep.
Don't care. Shuts the door.
You can burn
Good.
your house down.
All right. Let's walk away. And as we're walking away, I'm gonna kick his mailbox.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Roll a
Is
strength
it a
check.
wicker mailbox?
It is, yeah.
It's 11.
11. You like break the middle portion of the wicker, and it's now tilted.
That's exactly what I wanted to do.
Just a little bit.
We'll go to the bonsai, then we'll go meet up with everybody else.
Quick question. Was it the glass guy who made the obsidian glove for me?
No, it's not.
Okay, I want to go. I can't remember what he was again. Was it Corellan's? I went to
Corellin
Corellan, yeah.
made the
Yeah, okay, never mind. So
obsidian
yeah,
glove.
I'm
yeah.
going to go to. Can we stop by Corellan's after the bonsai tree? I have something for him.
Yeah.
Good,
You come
thank
with me, I'll come with you. Yeah, we're gonna go to the bonsai.
Okay.
Same as like, hello.
And her door is open. She's open for business.
Yeah, that's good.
Hello. Yeah, it's like immediately you feel. Actually, roll wisdom saving throws, both of you.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, wisdom saving.
Natural.
One. You have an overwhelming sense of peace and contentment as soon as you walk through the
rage.
doors. You can't. It is literally impossible for you at this moment. For the first time in your life, there's no part of you that even wants to rage or frenzy in this
So
moment.
it's a 23.
23. You are almost sickened by the assailing of your mind in this space. You look at all these bonsai trees and you're like,
Too
yeah,
peaceful.
that's-
Oh
exactly. And her check is again just sort of like his muscles are relaxed and he walks in and you almost forget what you came in here to talk about.
And just look at the trees. And
This guy will have no answers
Hello,
for us. This female. Hello.
And-
what were
and
we
again,
here for,
this is-
Varkir?
This clearly Japanese woman in a yukata sort of like tippy toes her way around the desk and bows to you both and says, welcome. What can I help you with?
What were we here for, Varkir?
Your glass guy.
Oh yeah. What happened to the glass guy? What was going on with that?
He left. Is that all? I mean, that's.
Do you
It's
spend
great.
your time with
It's
all
good
these
news.
trees all the time around you?
What'd you say?
Do you spend the time with all these trees around you all the time?
Yes, of course. It helps calm my my emotions.
It's
my
really
soul.
calming
it helps,
in here.
No.
It helps me
It's
concentrate.
really calm. Just breathe it
I'm
in.
gonna step outside for a minute. I'll be waiting for you out there.
Are you sure you don't want one of my
I'm
fine?
positive I don't want one of your
You seem
trees.
kind of like you could use one in your life. You just close your eyes.
Go over to
and
one of her
feel
trees
the-
and just touch it and just the necrotic and then just kill it. I can't use. Look at
no.
this. You see, I can't do your trees. Your trees.
That was a
are,
bad move, Varkir.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but You owe me about 1,200 gold right now.
No, you see, I told you. No, you kept. We'll talk about this later.
You just destroyed one of my products.
No, I didn't. It's still.
It is a black smoldering husk where your finger just touched it. It wasn't that just a second ago before your finger touched it.
We'll call it even.
I'm sorry. Even to what? What
Yeah,
do I
well,
get?
Later. Let me get out of this place. I walk out the door.
Sir, are you going to pay for your friend's
Don't do it. So we'll talk about it later.
destruction of my peace and sanity in
Do
here?
it. Do it.
I really would not like to call the authorities.
Talk about it later.
I haven't done it before. I don't know. I don't know
About
if
it
I'd be
later.
any good at it.
Talk about it later.
Yeah.
Nope. No, you won't. I come back in the shop a little bit and be like, don't you? I said, later.
You're already out the door.
no, I'm walking out the door. I haven't left. I can still hear your conversation.
I can tell that you are a kind
No, he's not.
soul.
No, he's not.
If you...
Nope.
120 gold for the piece that he destroyed. I worked
Nope.
particularly hard in cultivating it.
Nope.
I'd hand her 120 pieces of gold.
I'll be back later for those.
And she, as you hand her the gold, she slips in seeds in your hand, and she says, "Take care of them.
I will be
Depending
back
on
later.
how you nurture these seeds, they could do wonders for your mental state and
I'll-
growth."
The whole time she's saying that.
All right, I
over.
put the seeds in my pocket. So can you tell me anything about the crystal blower? What? Why did he
That's
leave?
a funny way to say it. Yeah, he left in a hurry. Most of us are happy about it. It's he's a very mean man. Well, I mean, not on the face of things. He just he just charged so much. We're all artisans around here, but he just thought so highly of his abilities.
She just charged the same amount as him. The same amount.
Look, you're gone. Are you gone? Or are you
Yeah,
whispering?
are you
through
like
the
gone?
window?
Like, come on, Rummy, get out of here.
I said I slowly walk out, and then she said, "Oh, I'm paying," and then I was like, "I'm still walking out." So I turn around and start walking back.
Oh,
and so I start
jeez.
saying,
Okay.
"No, no, no, no," and then he handed it to her anyway. So I was just like, behind him, like, "I'll get that back. I will." Just, yeah.
This dwarven girl, I think it was, she came in and asked about him, and you know, I told her how it was. He's, I have no proof that he has, you know, darker business practices, but it seems very apparent, and she didn't take that very well when she heard that I think she was describing you might have been swindled by this character, and after quite a ruckus, honestly, only a few hours later, he was gone. He had left in quite a hurry. It seemed like he was actually afraid. He left with a few mercenaries guarding him as well.
You know, I think he's only the first one that's happened to. There could be more. Just not saying it's going to be you, but there could be more. Watch out.
Roll an intimidation check.
God damn it, Rummy.
What is my intimidation dice? That's cocked. That's super cocked.
No, it's definitely a natty. Oop.
Intimidation, that's a 6.
You know,
It's just a warning. It wasn't too intimidating.
I've done nothing to you all.
I wasn't. Who said it was going to be us? I just said I've heard it's been happening.
It's not as though I'd like to see you try.
I've
But
just said I've heard it's been happening, and just be careful. It could happen to you next. Could happen. I didn't say it was going to happen.
But I have the wonderful Oren's Obliterate to get my back.
We weren't here for him. How could we be here for you?
He was a villain,
You
and
could
you
be
dealt
too.
with him rightly.
You could be a villain too, by the
I
way. Your
thought he was a
absorbent,
nice guy.
your prices.
Help me out. Now I don't. Is there another glass person?
You know, I don't know.
What was that face?
I didn't. I thought I didn't know that you were here because you positively associated yourself with his business.
I had no negativity versus him. He was helping me out, and he did a quicker job than expected, but
And
and now swindled me out of gold because I show her the ship, like, this is broken. I paid for a broken ship now.
She goes, "Wow, that is actually quite beautiful."
Right? He was good.
Yeah.
Better than these trees, at least.
Pardon me?
Markier, can you? Markier,
I'm
can
gonna
you
go-
stop,
I'm gonna
please?
go- I'm
Can
gonna
you
go to Ter-
get
I'm-
out
I'm
right
gonna
now?
go- I'm gonna go to
Can you just
Terra
leave?
Films. I'm gonna go to Terra Films. She
Yeah,
probably
I'll
has-
meet you
She
there,
probably has very, she probably
Markier.
has better trees than this place. She's
I'll
a
be
very
there
good
like
alchemist.
give me 3 seconds, Markier.
Walk out the door. We're outside.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
But she can't be doing stuff to me.
And she's just like she's
That's
looking
a-
at you. Her face is lined at yours, her check, but she's just like smiling with her eyes closed. At would you roll?
4.
As you hear this like stretching of wood as Varkir just gets these like wooden tentacles wrap around him and pull him towards the side of the store and just lock him in place. And she's just like,
Do I see this?
it's you hear it happening behind you. And it's very obvious
You
that
can
it's
let
happening.
me go. I'm leaving this your hoard store.
Let's go.
It's apologize.
Apologize for what? Telling the truth?
You badmouthed my trees and they
Badmouth your trees.
are clearly of value
How
here.
did I badmouth your trees? I said we could probably find better things
Varkir,
at
can you
Terrafilms,
can
and
you
we
just
could.
Varkir, you make this real simple.
And she smiles
Just
at you
real
too,
simple.
and you
Make
feel
this
this
go by real quick, Varkir.
We
restricting
may have
around.
better. We may
Apologize to
find
my
better.
Varkir,
trees.
you can just
Apologize.
be the bigger person, Varkir.
You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Varkir, be the bigger person. Be the bigger person. It's not gonna mean anything.
What?
Just apologize.
What?
Just apologize.
I said a
Varkir,
simple
Roll,
statement.
now
Var-
roll a wisdom saving throw.
Varkir,
A simple
Varkir,
statement.
please just apologize.
12.
You feel this
Oh,
like
wait, no,
wash.
13.
You feel this wash of positivity flow through you from the branches. You look to your left and right, and there are two sort of like multicolored bonsai trees, very beautiful and vivid. They look almost like the pride of the store, almost, as your head is like in between them, and you can't help but feel their influence in your mind. And your animosity, to much of your chagrin, just disappears, but it still feels sort of like wrong to you. You do feel like you're being, at least you're putting this intention out there. You feel like you're being manipulated when really you're just sort of like, it's the feng shui of the feng shui and natural energy of the plants that are influencing you.
Just apologize, Varkir. We can end this real quick. We get out of
Let's
here.
just end this peacefully. I don't want to.
said a simple statement. How could I hurt feelings of a person by saying we could, possibly, we may? That's not saying yes or no. That's just saying maybe, perhaps.
Varkir.
And it's true. Perhaps there's better things out there than me.
Your
Even.
friend is pretty strong-willed.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
surprised.
Oh, I know.
I'm a fan of the freedom of people. I'm a fan of freedom, not chains that you would put on everything here. I guess. Even,
This is to help you understand the corrections that can be made in your own pathways in life. These trees do not overtly influence you in ways that you aren't naturally pre-inclined to feel like.
but there could be trees that are more exceptional than these trees somewhere else.
I don't think so, actually.
That's your opinion.
Well, I appreciate your
I'm
help.
pretty educated
I
in that
am gonna
opinion.
leave now, Varkir.
Please take your friend.
I-
I hope that we helped out here. Nurture those seeds, Herchek, and
I never told you my name.
but you're part of Oren's
she
Obliterate.
gave you
I know
drugs,
most
did
of
she?
you.
If you feel, if you know of any glass people, glass workers, I would love to
I'll
know
let
their
you
name.
know.
Thank you.
She gave you
I'll be
drugs.
taking my leave,
drugs.
and I will take him with me if you just release him.
And the branches extend towards you and slowly unravel him until just one branch is around. And it's like it would just take the strength of one person to uncurl that one branch.
I uncurl it, but I don't grab him. I just go, let's go.
You drop to the ground, Varkir.
Let's go, Varkir.
He's horrid. Step outside
It's
the door.
not for everyone, I
Step
understand.
outside the door and it's like, I stand by my statement earlier. Continue walking.
All right.
Oren's Obliterate is single-handedly going to rid the entire mercantile district of all of their All of their artisans.
Exasperate
Had more
prices.
questions, Varkir,
Business.
but come on.
Did you see her prices? On
Thanks.
her
I
tree?
just
It
had
was
a
the
couple
exact
things to
same.
ask, and you just couldn't help me out. Nope. Thanks.
You already found the
Varkir.
culprit. You know who it was, anyways. Let's get
There's like 1,000 dwarves with that description.
But how many dwarves in that description live in this town?
A lot.
Okay.
And we're pretty well known, so who knows?
Yes. Very well.
Whatever. Let's go to your place.
I'm pretty sure Corellin could fix it. He made a pretty nice.
I'm
web.
going to ask him.
Are you guys going to Corellans or Cumentus's?
Corellans.
It's a quick stop. Just want to ask him.
It's in another district. You'll probably, if they're going immediately to Cumentus's, you'll probably.
No,
come
well,
pretty
I
late.
guess we'll go to Commentus then. If you want. We'll just head to Commentus's, I guess.
I mean, we could just chit chat back and forth as we go to them.
Okay.
So we'll be heading to Cumentus's still, right? We'll head to Cumentus. No, Corellans. As in,
I
we'll
thought
go
we
to
were
them
gonna-
for a while.
I thought we were going to Commentus's because if we go to Corellins, we won't meet them at Commentus's or whatever.
I think you meant to say Cumentus, didn't you? Or no?
No, like we'll go to them at Cumentus and see what they do for a while,
Yeah.
and we'll switch back to us going to Corellans.
Oh, I
And
see.
then from
So you-
Corellans, we'll go to Cumentus's.
But they'll already be
It
gone
shouldn't
from Commentus though.
We don't know that.
I
It's
guess
not gonna
that's
take us
just-
all day to do
I guess
this.
it's too far. Or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah, like you have to go to an entirely different district that is the farthest away from where
Yeah.
Cumentus
Okay.
is.
Yeah, let's go to Cumentus.
We'll go to that. We'll go to Corellins another time, I guess.
All right.
All right.
Crow, you find yourself in the laboratory of Cumentus with Thunky at your side. The main terminal in the center of the room that showed you the map earlier is there, still alight. The various experimental bodies of what you imagine to be versions of Crow are lined up against the right side wall. Other different tubes, vats, and various different artificery type items are lining the opposite wall of that. And just picture like a crazy sci-fi fantasy lab at this point. Oh, and a workbench on the opposite wall.
I have not operated all of the machinery devices in this lab, so it may take me some time to blueprints and notes that Commander left how to operate these different tools here. So I will spend some time by myself if possible.
You're gonna spend some time in here by yourself. I came all the way over here with you, and you just now tell me that you want to spend some time alone in here.
Oh, I just mean it might not be beneficial.
There's plenty of things to read in here. Can I just poke around?
Right, yeah. I'm just letting you know it's gonna be one.
Okay.
Gonna be a minute. Okay, Crow, what do you want to do?
Yeah, so I'm looking through his list of machines in here. Something that may, I don't know, extract properties from different elements, materials. Maybe something that might imbue objects with other properties. Some kind of machine that analyzes, like it's a different. I want to know the specs, the details of this for different properties.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check. Investigation
Can I
check.
help him?
At advantage. Only because you're Crow. Nothing to do with Thunky. There's no way that Thunky would know anything.
I can
In
look at
this basement.
pieces of paper.
You are a druid in a very artificial, like a stagnant environment. This
I
would
could
be like
"This
anathema
looks
to your
important."
existence.
Crow, doesn't this look important?
That would be
It's
counterproductive.
fine. He's got an 18.
Natural or What do you? I don't do it. You don't have any intelligence?
Well, you said investigation.
Which is intelligence?
0. He was like, oh, and then scrolled up to the top, and it still says +0.
I'm just trying to understand how
He was like,
Crow with 0 intelligence modifier would make any sense of this stuff. He may be a warforged, but again, that doesn't exactly count as compensation for lack of ability to actually discern and comprehend different principles and concepts.
This choice by having more points in wisdom because I was created with as a tool.
So that's intellect. Wisdom is like natural ability to. It's like street smarts versus book smarts. Intellect is book smarts, which is for all intents and purposes.
I would think Crow is more street.
Okay.
he was used as an errand
He's kind of
boy.
had to figure it out all on his own. He hasn't had parents. He wasn't focused on teaching.
You can just see Cumentus in your mind, just grabbing his heart and going down to his knees, like, ah, not a parent. Oh, only Cumentus. Ah. But yeah, okay. So you rolled natural 18, no modifier. You
2, if we're using wisdom.
We're not. It's an intelligence investigation which uses intelligence roll. There's no way you can whittle.
But what about animal handling?
Yeah.
What
Um,
persuade the DM?
persuade the DM. That's a very rare
Wait, sorry,
time.
you said investigation?
Yes. Which is intelligence. Huh?
I don't have any intelligence, but I do add 4 because I'm proficient in it.
Okay. Okay. 22. Most everything. So one wall is like your it's his. So on one side of the room is Cumentus's, now Crow's, your sort of like data console. It's what the information that Cumentus has stored for you and for some of his projects. And on the opposite side is a workbench, which is where you create different things. And you can see that the workbench has almost like a what is it, like an, how to describe this, like not like a funnel, but you can see all these different attachments sort of curling out of the workbench, and you can see these 2 holes where you would insert your arms, and with your 22 you can imagine that you would be able to control all of these different tools and functions from inserting your arms into these little holes, if that makes sense. So it's like you go into exploratory, like investigation, pull apart, remake mode in here, and that's more than likely what you are looking for. Whereas like the other walls are already pre-made items or experiments.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to grab that or pull that out. Does it fit in this space?
The Atlas orb doesn't exactly fit in any of these spaces. That's a, which one? You remember, it's a 10-foot diameter sphere. It would be like, it wouldn't exactly be scraping the ceiling. But there are pieces of it. Were you handed Penky, or the bag of holding?
Mm-hmm.
But Penky took all of it.
Oh, right.
So even the shards. Okay. Just putting it on the workbench to analyze it. Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check. Another one. +4? Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so you pull, like, out of all of the different attachments, you see one arm fly down that's a lens, and then another, and then another, and then another, another, and you see inside of, sort of like, see it at like a micro level inside of the orb itself, and data starts to scroll across the lenses. What are you trying to find out about it?
See if there's any properties that may be applied to other items. Like if we can try and craft anything that might. If there's anything useful from this, maybe its rarity to see if it's valuable. We can try and sell it, or if it's of no value. If that's
Okay, with your 18 roll, you can the properties very much lend themselves to enhancement and enchantment. So these can be imbued into multiple different items. These can be imbued into people, into things. You can almost be creative in how they can be implemented into various different aspects of tools and people and things. And as in terms of value, this is for the mass of orb that you have. You don't quite know where you would sell it. Potentially Bresh in its dealings with wild and bizarre items, you might be able to sell it. But the bulk of what you have now is worth about, altogether, doing the math, comparing it to similar valuable substances, about 30,000 gold pieces. And so this is like hyper valuable. You don't remember. So it has a it gives you insight into the weaknesses of prime shades, and so that is you any item that you imbue this with is again a +4 against prime shades, and then you can, the substance itself, as you have used with your previous dealings with prime shades, can be imbued into people as tattoos, and that's why the effect on people also works. So you would imagine that, like, enchant an item with this and then imbue yourself with this, and that's +4. That's a lot of damage towards a prime shade. And then it's got, you can see these dark sort of ever moving black, like cells, just constantly trying to fight their way out but being contained, and that hints to a necrotic aspect of this orb, just ever so slightly necrotic aspect of it.
So we would have to take samples of this orb to tattoo artist.
Yeah, tattoo artist, or again, like use your imagination. This is like the wonder substance to imbue with, make whatever you want. You can coat something in it. You can use it temporarily. You might be able to make bombs out of it. You might be able to tip your arrows in it. This is like a lifetime supply of prime shade, like offensive material.
Okay. And can I discern whether it could be used as a fuel source?
There's not enough power emanating from this material. There's the power comes in the mass of it. Remember, this is like a rare aspect to a prime shade. That doesn't mean that it's incredibly powerful. Like, the power resides in the dark crystal that you have, not the eyes themselves.
Okay. I'd like to put that back. And then how big was the dark crystal again?
It's pretty giant. It would barely fit in your chamber. You might be able to control the the lenses again to inspect the the darkness of it, but also remember that
Isn't it a Pinky's pocket?
it could affect the area around you or even yourself if you pull it out.
Can I look around for like a portable version of this tool that I'm using to inspect properties?
Yeah, roll an investigation check. It's gonna take you like you're in a little bit of a hurry. Your teammates are waiting on you, and at this point, like Varkir and Herchek come walking, or you hear like a very aggressive beating on the grate up top, and you can't quite like as you're looking, you're sort of distracted. It's gonna take you a lot more time to sort of like filter through all the items at your disposal here.
I'll go upstairs.
You can't open it.
I can't.
No,
I'm
not unless
stuck in here.
yeah, not unless Crow has either left it open, which I don't imagine Crow would do, or has sort of like given you guys access by.
That's okay. I think I'm gonna head out. I will share my findings.
You do find with that roll the piston leg on your way out to rationalize why that is in this campaign. Yeah, in the sort of like series of different leg experiments wall. Okay. All right. What are you guys up to right now as the door opens, as you guys are ready to walk down inside and you see Crow and Thunky walking up?
Didn't we already replace one of his legs with a piston already?
Yeah.
No, he has
No. He just has it. Like you see it just like. I don't think he has a sack or satchel or anything, but he's just holding it as he walks out.
Good Crow, you fix yourself? You know, I think I'm okay for now. But as I was in hibernation mode, my system sought to prepare itself for truth. So I may look like that fast. I feel completely fine on the inside. Good to know.
I mean, there's you can like fix yourself in Crow's or in Cumentus's laboratory. He's got like replacement parts. Yeah. You can you just like sit. So the workbench also there's a mode to it where it's like extends out into a.
Ooh, is it like Dead Space?
It's like Stormland.
You know, like when you save in Dead Space and the little sarcophagus thing opens up, you get inside.
Oh yes, exactly. Yeah, so it like extends out into a bed that has these sort of like arcing arms to it, and you lay down inside. It shuts in. You see small slivers of light highlight across the in between the different plates. Yeah, and these white straps wrap around you, and you exit, and now it's Crow Tim.
Got that multi-pass. Okay. Then, yeah, after I done with that, I'd like to head out. We're just meet back up with the group. I guess they're just waiting. Yeah.
You guys meet each other on the way inside and outside.
During that time, like, okay, like the dude's god went to the crystal place. Let's go get the boat.
Which crystal place?
The crystal lodge we went to the other day. Remember?
Vaguely.
Vaguely. Well, let me refresh your the
is
twisted
this
crystal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the place.
Yeah,
where
he's
you
gone
ordered
now.
Those boats.
And
It's gone.
Yeah, the dude apparently left in a hurry. And
Well, that doesn't surprise me. He was a crook.
I thought you might say that because we asked the shops around what happened, and apparently a dwarf was threatening him. Did that happen to be you?
No, I haven't been back
Oh,
since that one time.
okay, that's weird. Yeah, I mean,
I
was,
wish
I was telling
I
Varkira, like, there's tons of dwarves.
honestly, I wish it was me. But
Yeah. All right. Well, he's gone, so I gotta figure out what to do.
it's probably for the best.
Yeah, I guess.
A new glass person will probably take over his shop.
Yeah, I mean it's a dope shop. So
Yeah.
It was like the door was completely shattered.
Wow.
All right. Well. All right.
Can I go over to like a bush nearby or something and like throw up?
Yeah, as you all get distracted by Crow saying, "Oh, I found out what this orb does," and Thunky just like you don't even notice Thunky isn't there anymore, but you just hear this like with the wind passing by, the shuffle of bush leaves.
What'd you find, Crow?
This material is incredibly rare, making it very valuable.
What?
30,000 gold.
Which material? Oh.
The blue orb. Ah, Valden's eye. Let's.
And I may be able to adjust its properties.
Can I get a small piece of that out of the bag? Actually, just one of those shattered pieces. It doesn't have the whole. It doesn't even have to be a piece of the whole one. Just one of the
You just gotta.
How easily can I access things?
You guys are on good terms right now.
I mean, like.
So like anything that you have put in there is accessible by you. Anything hyper valuable is we'll see. But yeah, a shard just like and the stench sort of comes out as it normally does. The shard flies towards you.
Thank you, Pinky. I'll take that and put it in the bag. I was like, all right, I'll see what the Corellin. But it's sad to myself, and it's like, so by the way, can we stop by Corellin's for a bit? I need to.
Of course.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Explain to us on the way.
okay. All right.
Unless you want to stay here.
I mean, it's really quick. I may be able to use this material to alter the properties of your armor or items.
I'm not wearing armor. Can you put it in me?
Or
Put it in me, Crow.
Give this man an enema.
Tattoos that.
Anything about the crystal?
sadly, this laboratory space cannot accommodate
You think Humantis would have like a
should
big
take that
space?
to,
Queen Kunbara?
yes.
We should head there.
I feel like it should be her choice. As she is
I agree with that. So head to Corellin's and then to Queen Kunbara. Let's do it.
Okay, doesn't take you very long.
They're like, oh, welcome back, Donkey. What was that? You okay? Bad bread?
I don't know. Breakfast this morning. Must have been the eggs.
Too much booze.
Yeah.
Can I roll an insight check?
Sure, yeah.
Can I roll something to counter that insight?
13.
I mean, I would normally say performance, but you just threw up in a bush, so that was your performance.
No, crap.
18?
No, 13.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, yeah, 18.
Just do a roll.
Just do
You
a
don't-
roll.
You don't have any
Just to
wisdom?
see.
Do a barrel roll.
What kind of roll?
A deception check.
Deception?
Yeah. That'll be your counter roll.
15.
It's the breakfast, man. Couldn't rightly tell.
Bad
Still
eggs.
seems a bit off.
We'll
Like
tell
maybe
my-
it was something that was a catalyst to the breakfast as well. But
Was
yeah,
it her
actually-
check's breakfast? Was it my breakfast? Probably shouldn't have that. You probably should get more berries.
It
in
might
it.
have.
Yeah,
It
berries.
probably was.
Yeah, alright, well.
I don't know why he decided to give me that breakfast.
Yeah.
Got mixed
Think
up.
about it. Jeez, all that meat. Alright.
Okay, so you guys, it doesn't take you long to get to the Corellan system.
Question: What was the stained glass picture on the window of the crystal?
Roll a remembrancing check.
Remembrance. Yeah, that's.
Add your intelligence.
It's not your remembrancing die.
Wow. So.
God, your dice
5.
suck.
No, you can't. It's just a bunch of colors. You didn't quite pay attention to it. It wasn't particularly interesting to you.
It didn't matter much anyway. It's just a lot of that with the correct colors. All right.
Okay, so you make it to Corellan's sort of like large blue crystal spiraling place of business, and you walk inside. It's open. It's still early in the day, and he is just at the at his desk, looking as bored as he always is, and just sort of like correcting his assistant.
Corellan!
Whip that person into shape. Yes, it deserves all
whip
that he
him!
gets.
Whip
all that
him!
he gets.
Oh, I get no, joy for.
You should get joy.
Well, that's no way to treat your subordinates. How are you supposed to grow them and mold them and shape them into exactly what you need them to
We
be?
know what
It
you're
turns into
into.
character.
We don't need character here. I need subordination.
That's also a fire. But I have a question for you.
Hey, ball!
And granted, it's the bald elf,
right?
very
Balls
light.
here.
Val's there.
Val.
Yeah, I guess he would know you. You can go talk to him. I
Yeah,
guess,
I go talk to Val.
But-
That's gonna be weird. Yeah.
But in the meantime,
And you're actually roll a an insight check.
Natural 70.
It looks familiar to you. You like look over you're looking at him. You look over your shoulder, and you look at
our hair would be
Mark
like,
here.
since
It doesn't like the facial features are like that's it looks a little bit similar. Interesting, but you can both of them are Aasimar, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
if I was good me, it would look almost exactly the same. But bad me has completely reverted back.
Yes, how can I help you?
I'm wondering, can you make a short sword out of this material?
You know me. I've made much more difficult.
And I grab the blue.
Whoa!
Or sight. Could you?
Dealing with prime shades, I see. Bit of a tricky business. I haven't quite done it before. It's going to cost a little bit more for me to be able to experiment, make sure that I do it well, develop the proper procedures.
Experiment.
Yes.
So how much of this would you need to create a fine short sword?
How much do you have?
This is it.
Well, let's just say if my first experiment fails, then we probably won't have any more short swords afterwards.
I don't need to. Okay, so what I'm thinking, picking up from the short sword, I just want the blade made out of this. The rest of it can be made out of other.
What do you think? I make the hilt out of the same material? Are you crazy? No. It's Look,
I mean, just
depending on how
blade.
valuable
Kinda
this
like
project is to you, I will take more care in developing this newly acquired skill and method of creation.
So what I described him is basically almost like a short sword version of Spectrometer's sword.
That's made out of many different
I have the stained
shards,
glass.
though. Oh,
Shards of stained
okay.
glass.
Okay.
Like whatever's left over from making this, you can have. I just want a short sword like maybe that long, like not even like
I've got a lot on my plate right now. Maybe, let's say, 200 gold for a potentially successful endeavor on my part. 300 for an even more potentially successful endeavor. And then, let's just say 400 will assure you a fine product.
But I don't want all of this. The rest of the excess that you use in your experiments,
and you
could keep.
hear like in your conversation with Valros, and you can take issue with his voice or not. He goes, Corellan, you know you can do it. I know you can do it. You've done this before. Somebody came in here. I think it was that Dolan fellow. You've worked with. And Corellan goes, Val?
I know you,
Val?
Corellin. You're way better than this. I've
see
known you
your-
for a
your
long
assistant
time,
has some-
Corellin.
Some other options at hand here. So.
You Asimar, I swear. All right. 200 gold, and I should have a fine product for you, thanks to your fellow angelic figure over there.
Thank you. Yes, I'll just do that.
I'm gonna bring out the boat to Val. Be like, hey, can you
and
fix this for me?
This boat. Is there a way to fix this one? You've made stuff for me before with
You don't
glass
see
and
this. You don't see. You're Dylan
Oh,
Corellin.
I
I'm talking
thought
to
you were talking about. I
Val.
thought you were talking about Krillin. So never mind.
I'm talking about
Scratch
Val.
that.
You're talking to Val? You bring
Yeah,
the boat?
yeah. You're like, can you just fix this for me?
He sort of like grabs your shoulder. He's a smaller figure, just sort of pulls you in, and he goes, "Shh, Corellin's gonna try and he's gonna bleed you for money on this one."
I know, Val.
And he just like takes it, and he like, yeah, you guys both have a repertoire. You guys have adventured sometime together, and he just grabs the top piece, the mast, sticks it on, and waves his hand across, and it's honestly a very simple spell. It's called mending.
It does have that.
It's good as new. It should be.
Cool. I hand him like 5 gold. Like, thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, I don't need this hurt check.
Yeah, you're good, man. You gotta come back with us sometime.
He probably doesn't need it though. I mean, you did that for the children thing, so got a lot
He's
of money.
fucking loaded. You can see
Got
him you can
Hurt
hear
check
when he
has no
walks. It's
concept.
ching, ching.
Kerchak has no concept of fucking
Saved
gold.
all those children.
Clearly.
All right. It'll take about 5 days to get this done.
I'll give you the money then. I promise you I'm good for it.
Give me the money then. No, that's not how this works, I'm afraid. This is my work. You could just disappear. And I'd have a sword that I do nothing with.
Part of Oren's Obliterate, and then you also have the excess material from the Prime Shade.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion is
Charisma.
charisma. What's my
Oh,
charisma
it's strength.
die? Yes, this one. No.
No, I'm afraid half now, half later. So that'll be 100 gold.
Where'd you roll the inspiration?
You always have me working on so many.
Never mind
Custom
then. I will be
items.
back later when I have the money to do that.
You don't even have the money?
No.
Get out of my
I
shop.
have to go get the money
I'm
first.
here for business.
I have to get the money first. I have to get paid for the jobs, and then I have the money.
Good. Get paid, come back, and then we
you
can
still
do
owe
business.
me gold.
Yes, I know. Wait a minute. That's the other. The
Do
other
you,
No.
Will you pay for it?
No,
The other
Corellin.
person. The other person. See, that's what I said. I'll just leave this here. I'll be
Val, do you want to pay for your friend's endeavor here? And Val looks
Look
at
Val.
you.
I'll do it, Val.
And yeah, he's really looking at you like, should I? Okay.
We're both Asimar. I'm a noble. You're a noble.
Do you want him to? You can roll a persuasion check if you
I'll
want
roll a
to.
persuasion check. I'll see what he gets.
Roll that advantage.
15 for that one, and 11.
What's
well,
your-
I have a +5, so 20, and then 16.
Wow. Okay, +5. There's just something about you that
Ding.
I can't quite ignore. If you come back and talk to me, I'll take care of this.
I sort of thumb the finger, the ring that Valdin had, and I was just like, I'll stop by sometime, perhaps. Say thank you, yes.
All right, Krellin, I got this, but it's not 'cause we're Asimar.
Because we're awesome. No.
Exactly what he said. Then you've got yourself a deal.
I remember this person. You.
He just he grabs the material with one hand and looks it over. I've got a job ahead of me. Well, better attend to this now. See you all on the flip side, yo. Toodaloo. And you feel this like gust of wind to just slowly push you out of the shop.
It's just like one of those things where like we're standing off and
And Valros is just like, he's not even touching him. He's just waving at you goodbye.
bye Val, good to see you.
Okay.
That was quick and easy, I guess. Wow. Yeah. Let's go to Queen Kunbara now. Ha ha.
Okay, you guys taking the gondola up?
I'm gonna jump
You have boots
Of course, we're gonna take the
try.
gondola.
Donkey can turn you into gas clouds.
I'd rather not be a fart.
It's just all a matter of perception. Okay, so you guys, standard affair. The guard at the base of the gondola welcomes you. Says that Kunbara has been actually looking forward to speaking with you and guides you into the gondola, where it's a nice, pleasant ride. About midday at this point, maybe like 3 o'clock.
Is there gondola music?
No, but the guard who is working the gondolas is whistling a particularly horrendous tune. It's like he just learned how to whistle and he just can't get enough of it.
Really learning there, huh?
Just like a bird, right?
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Samuel.
All right,
You know,
Sammy.
it sounds just like the Unagoth, a quite beautiful bird in the fog forest, or I forget what the cloud forest is. Yes.
Unagoth, that sounds beautiful.
Yes.
I can do
Thank
that
you for the
easily.
compliment. I'll keep on.
Funky will show you what an Unagoth is.
Can I just like partially like wild shape into a head of an Unagoth and do it?
Like in a scary movie, like
Like
Bilbo?
Bilbo, yeah. And actually, you know what? We'll see. Rolled a 4. As he's just like whistling and turning around and looking at you, just like almost like peacefully and happily, you do the face, and he and just falls off into the water and just is like floundering his way as you see him just like fall down the water back towards where he was. And the gondola just like safely arrives.
Is anybody manning the station up there, like up top, or?
Yeah, one of the guards just like looks over his shoulder at you guys, and he goes, "Well, where's the guard?"
He had a little accent. He's
Gonna
making his
sit
way
there.
back down.
I'll be like,
Samuel
be
should be
cool.
at his post at all times. There should be no guests coming up, even if it is the infamous Oren's Obliterate. He should be accompanying you.
Said he had explosive diarrhea.
He does often get explosive diarrhea.
Yeah, didn't want
It was like running
didn't want to
water.
do it in the.
But that is no excuse.
I mean, come in the gondola.
All right, and he
With
sort of like
Oren's
whistles,
Obliterate.
gets another guard to take his post, and then takes the gondola back down. And you see, if you care to look, he's just like gesticulating at Samuel, giving him a hell of a time, like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," and then Samuel's just like pointing up, like, making this weird face. Yeah, all is right in the world. So yeah, you guys are at the sort of like serene, floating oasis with the crystal, the Prisma castle in its ever glowing light blue hue, and Kunbara sort of apparates from inside and starts walking towards you all. And it's a more casual gown. She's not training as she was before. She's not in her ceremonial gear as she was before. You've never actually seen her in sort of like casual garbs before. And it's this again sort of like similar to what her mother was wearing, which is like a light blue with like silver lines going down silk, and her hair is not even like put up. It's just like all the way down at this point. And she goes, "Oren's Obliterate, it is always a pleasant affair to see you all. Do you have a report for me about what happened beneath our city?"
We do.
And?
There was a prime shade.
A very
Tactics.
terrible and powerful one.
Well, actually, here, let me take a step back. We started out by facing off against the town's guard as an exercise, a training exercise to.
Yes, I had heard that the guard was victorious.
No, we won.
I don't know where you heard that from,
I
Kunbara.
believe we even have the flag to prove it.
I do have the flag to prove it.
They also promised us 1,000 gold each.
If we won, then we did win.
Yeah,
Well, we'll discuss that later.
it's fine.
Bobby's a
Upon
very...
our victory, the ground had fallen out beneath us, and there was a giant hole in the ground. We discovered a ship, a very dark ship.
It's from
that
Lordran.
is, in
Lordran.
dormant state right now. It requires a power source in order to get it
Right.
back online.
Don't forget it was from Cumentus.
Lord Jamar. It's a Lord Jamar ship that was modified.
A Lordimar ship.
Your guardsmen are in a hot dispute right now and discussing who should maintain ownership of this.
Do you remember the Godless Wars? Kunbara, were you alive then? Or is that yes?
My father, Triandal, was a primary figure in the Godless Wars. The Lordimar ships blackening out the skies with their numbers. It was quite a frightening affair. I was much younger then, but and she is an elf, so you can tell that sort of like 50 years is not much time. But she's just sort of like just transitioning into womanhood now. She was probably closer to sort of like the teenage age back then. And yeah, she says, yes, Bobby told me of the Lord Mar ship and how you had claimed that it was yours based off of Cumentus's instruction. And he said that you had proof.
And I can provide that proof, but I should have grabbed that.
You mean this? And I pull out the thing. The
Wow,
I
proof!
I pull
Great.
out the proof.
Wasn't the orb the proof? Or-
Yeah, I'd like to pull out that orb. Real quick, would that even seem as though it's proof?
I would like to clarify by saying that you are the one who said you had proof. So, whatever you can conceive is proof.
Done a perception check in the lab to try and find something
was
attached to that ship.
wasn't that holographic message enough? Couldn't you just display it for her, or is that just for you?
Yeah, it was something from the magazine. I don't know that. You know?
Well, due to Cumentus, I would say due to just Cumentus's modifications, it falls under Cumentus's possessions, and you own his possessions now. So
Look, we
I can provide proof. I do believe that would be the case. But
just understand that there's no part of my being that mistrusts you all at this point. But this is a very and historically, catastrophically dangerous relic that we have in our hands. And I cannot in good conscience let it go until we know more about it.
that is perfectly fine. You know, in fact, I think that
it can stay
the
docked
kingdom
here.
should be your guards. Should be responsible in protecting it and keeping it from out of the hands of those who would use it for nefarious.
That being said, however, it does seem as though it is an object of extreme power, and we need power if we are to fight Koltessa.
Could we modify it?
I am not opposed to using it, but I want to use it properly. I've seen its destruction firsthand, and we need to make sure that we use it responsibly, and we know what it means to use this item.
Could we modify it to look like it's from us instead of Lord Amad? The black dragon head? Maybe change it to a silver dragon head or something?
Roll a persuasion check.
Yeah. 8.
I like the idea, but I think that we should put forth most of our efforts to understanding it right
Yes,
now, as
yes.
opposed to customizing something that we know nothing about.
No, I just mean understanding it, then changing its look if we can use it beneficially, and maybe just pocket out in front of Orenbelle at Oren's Obliterate. You know, on the,
We do not want to intimidate
No,
those
no,
around
you
us. We
see,
merely want to crush Koltessa.
if you change the look to look more elegant, to look like it's from Orenbelle, and you put it outside, it would look like a shining beacon. A very, very nice.
You always get like
all
this.
that aside,
you always get like
Varkir.
this when you dye your hair, Varkir,
Yes.
and it's not becoming.
You don't.
I love
like,
you dearly, but this.
You don't like to. Never mind.
All right, Varkir. We got this, Crystal.
We are going to continue to find a power source to bring this airship online.
Of course, I will dedicate a full research regimen of the Celestial Order down to understand its design and purpose if we can. If you have any files or information that Cument has left behind about it, it would be extremely useful. And at this, you see this sort of like flying squirrel fly from behind Kunbara and land on her shoulder, and just sort of like crawl down. It's a small flying squirrel. And you see shape like this flying squirrel now shapes into this black cloaked figure with this Japanese style wicker hat, and a black owl with one scarred eye flies down and lands on this male black-haired elf's shoulder that you know to be Carnigal. And
Carnigal.
Hey, it's been a long time since we've seen each other, Oren's Obliterate.
Long time.
Oh, we have not. A new member, I see. Where's Tim?
In the heavens.
And sort of like you see Kunbara just like hide her eyes as they start to water over. He's in the heavens.
He
Crow
was
is
taken over
dead.
by the,
He's a-
by the
he's
thunder
a-
god.
He's not really dead.
Look, I'm just humoring you.
Is
I
it-
know what happened to Tim.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear it from you.
Oh yeah, he's a thunder.
If you already
thunder
know
god
what
now.
happened,
Body of the
why are you
thunder
even
god.
asking us?
I just
That's a
wanted to
waste of
hear it from
conversation.
you.
His is-
No, it's not. It's gauging your feelings.
Oh.
Yes, I'm an agent of information. I like to know what everyone is thinking around me. If I can't see it clearly, I'll ask a question and discern it myself.
That's about all you can do.
Did you find the answer that
You
were
mean
looking
figuring out problems as opposed to just looking around and going, duh, combat?
When was the last time I don't remember the last time I ever
Oh,
spoke with
good,
you.
Yep, good times,
That's
Carnigal.
like-
You
Carnigal?
are.
I don't think I've ever
Party
spoken with
member.
you before.
Yeah,
Actually.
we have not spoken Vakir.
You are.
Am
an
I the only one
information
that actually
gatherer.
know? Like, yeah.
To be honest, I don't remember Carnival.
I'm
at
the
all.
only one that has been on a mission with Carnigal.
So, being Oren's Obliterate, Carnigal has come to you maybe like one or two times. Sort of like randomly you had accepted one of his missions or quests to go on, but only Herchek has actually worked specifically with Carnigal, where Carnigal solved every puzzle and problem that
And I
Herchek
did
came into
everything
contact
else,
with.
literally.
But you were playing as Carnival.
I was playing as Carnigal. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, the Ralvos has been pacified in the Shattered Peaks once again.
That
They
was
have-
his name?
They have found a state of stability once again. Harmony has returned to the Quakes.
To the Quakers?
Quakes.
How is Aegis?
Aegis was the enemy that you defeated.
That was the high
Kind
Why did
was
I put Aegis?
the agent of the Harmony of Quakes that you had worked with. Yes, unfortunately, Ralvos, out of all of the angels that had been sealed, was too powerful for the methods of the traditional divinus signum. Therefore, the Harmony of Quakes, ones who knew more about the natural energies of the mountain, had to form to pacify this angel, which he has been pacified once more, thanks to Kind and my own efforts.
Probably mainly Kind.
We suspect that the incursion of, or on, into the Shattered Peaks was also a plot by Koltessa. The timing lines up with when the king was poisoned. You and Iso were gone. Thunky and Tim were on another mission, and Vakir was tending to, or Valros was tending to something else. We imagine that she used this time to hire the Black Hand to do their dirty work. But, in terms of our progress forward, I heard that you all are making a trip to Bresh. One in which I will be accompanying you with. I've already got the caravans in order. They're waiting at the entrance to the eastern wall of Orenbelle.
Will you be handling all the financial matters?
No, of course not. It's not my money to tend to.
That's a banker. Banker's coming with us.
Yes, we've got a caravan of 20,000 gold. We've got one of many different forms of lumber and tools. We've got architects and stonemasons, and we've even got an entire an entire carriage filled with gift baskets. I found it quite odd when I heard that, but Kunbara's orders are absolute.
Do we have any soldiers to guard the caravan?
Aye, that's where you come in.
4 soldiers to guard a caravan of how many cars?
At extra cost, we may be able to obtain some soldiers, but we don't want this to be a show of force. We want this to be a show of kindness and peace. Therefore, the more force we come in with, the less easy that becomes.
We just want to protect the cart to get there, and then we'll protect the citizens while we're there.
Protect the citizens while we're there is a funny phrase coming from your mouth, Varkir.
Well, protect the citizens from, threats from within and without. Maybe more so within sometimes, but yes.
Now that we understand Koltessa's aim, that she means to release or obtain the power of the fallen and sealed angels, we need to strategize and arm ourselves with information and power. Therefore, I will be coming along with you to help with this goal for the time being, though I may have to branch off to Capilico to research some of my own topics.
Is that the city of religion?
Capilico is the largest city on Melibrius. It is a city of heroes, or so they would have you believe. City of golden spires and affluence. But yes, they do cater to all religions accepted in Melibrius. So,
When were you plan on setting off?
whenever you're ready.
We do have a matter to attend to first here with Kunbara.
Of course, pardon my...
Wrap up that business before we proceed.
We give us 4 days, perhaps.
I think
4
Carnigal
days.
could assist in this matter.
I've been listening. Kunbara says, yeah, Carnigal, you do get ambitious in your information gathering, don't you? Crow, please, continue, and then we'll sort out the matters of the caravan after.
Well, to finish our story of where we left off, in this crevasse that we had stumbled upon, a prime shade down there had attacked us. It seems that he was fueled by the many souls of those Orenbelle's past. I don't know the history. How, why, all of these souls have amassed to create this evil entity that attacked us, but we defeated it, and now we must leave this for you to decide what to do with it.
What is it?
It is an orb in my possession.
Should I reveal it now?
Let's go, right now.
Get out here now! I gotta go!
So wait, does Crow have Pinky's pocket, or do you have Pinky's pocket?
Crow still has Pinky's
Crow has it
pocket.
currently. The black Pinky's pocket. You guys have any questions? What's going on? Donkey. Her hair is vividly pink.
Yeah.
How long is that gonna last?
I don't know.
Not
Like, how long am I
not
gonna
like
keep it
arbitrarily how long is it gonna last? Just like how long will that pink color keep its vividness?
Depends on how many times I wash it. Could be anywhere from like.
Every time you wash it, like gets some of the
It
color out.
fades out, yeah.
Just be a dirty little hobo.
You'll be fine. You'll be good.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
It's been 3 weeks.
Good,
Last shower.
good. Okay, Crow. You defeated the Prime Shade, and you have this orb that you were telling me about.
Some may want to use this orb for, to sell it, to use it for evil, whatever purposes they may have in mind, or you can release the souls to return them, let them be at ease. Up to you.
Yeah, that seems like a very obvious option.
Yes, but the option is yours.
What do you think I would choose?
Well, to be honest, I'd like to learn a little bit more about this orb and see if maybe there's some other way that we can use it to a benefit. But that's just run-off traits that I obtained from Juventus. But I think you should release the souls, of course. Ultimately.
And so do I.
I'm gonna take a piece from the bag.
Can I have a piece?
It's a whole
of
piece.
the black of the black
Of the shard?
the black one.
Yeah, so there are two materials that you gained from this Prime Shade. One is the blue stuff.
Yep.
The other is the black stuff.
Yep.
He is currently referring to the black stuff.
Oh, the black stuff. Okay.
Can I take a shard of the black stuff?
You can try. So yeah.
The thing
Kunbara goes,
that tried to kill us.
where is it located, and how might we deal with it?
I have it in this bag. It's rather large orb, but this is a special bag.
I hope Penke is taking good enough care of it.
As good enough as I believe he's capable of.
Just imagine him in the bag, like licking it.
I have my own ideas. Okay, so what must we do to lay the souls to rest?
Bust it out, Crow.
I believe that we should probably take it back to where we located this prime shade, and I don't know. Maybe crack back open.
Cleanse it. Break it.
Bury it?
Do you trust in leaving it in the possession of the Celestial Order?
Do you trust the Celestial Order?
With my life, yes. As much as I trust you.
Then yeah.
Then yeah.
Why don't we just do this now? We don't want to leave it in anybody's hands other than our own.
Okay. And she just whistles. This very high pitch sort of summoning whistle, and 4 members of the Celestial Order that were on sort of like corners of the floating island slowly walk down to your position and take up like, it's almost like they have rehearsed this slow form walk and take up positions that are at like a perfect square radius around you guys. And Penke goes, "You're just going to give away this power. You're just going to give it up to them."
Still have the 2 other orbs.
Yes, Penke.
You have the 2 blue orbs, and then this one that
But
turned your bag
we're not
black.
giving it away to anybody. We're returning it to where it came from.
Could they potentially use this energy to make Orenbelle better? Like, instead of spreading the energy around where it originally was, can they just spread around Orenbelle?
This is again it's like the collection, the dense containment of souls suffering sorrow
Yeah,
who
if-
have not been laid to
If you
rest.
purify it, will it turn into good energy, or will it still be bad energy?
I mean, you don't know how this works essentially. So,
Okay.
and maybe they don't either.
Mm.
Just so you know, I'm not trying to give this to like hand it over to anybody. I think we as a group should try to propose that we travel back to that hole
Okay. So Penke goes, fine, fine. Let's see how this plays out. And the chain jumps out of the bag, flops onto the ground in the center of the four members of the Celestial Order, and the chain sort of slithers off and into the bag, and you can just see like Penke staring over the bag at sort of like trying to find out what the Celestial Order is going to do, and they start chanting together and doing hand motions, and you can start to see again sort of like lines connecting around the blackening shard, and the billowing black energy is just like contains and clouds the inside of this containment field, and the four members sort of like as they walk in any direction, the crystal walks with or like levitates in the center of their perimeter.
It's a nifty trick there.
That was frightening. I could feel it. I could feel
Quite pleasant.
everything that they went through. Please, let's return them as quickly as we can. Thank you for bringing this up here. I also felt disconcerting power coming from it, and animosity. You are all incredible to deny its allure. Okay, she like summons her own personal sort of like air gondola that just sort of like comes. It floats up next to one of the smaller docks, similar to where the ceremony was held with you guys, and the four members walk onto it. You guys follow them, and she goes, I've only been told where this is. I just know that it's in the Belladonna system by the waterfall that used to be my favorite place to train. If you could lead us there, that'd be wonderful.
It's a giant hole. We can't miss it, Kunbara, baby cakes.
I don't know if you can't miss
Pardon
it.
me?
The guards took a long time to find it.
He called you baby cakes.
It's
It's an odd nickname for a queen.
that was my thought. Exactly, her check. That was a bit. If you could contain yourself, and
Never do that again.
we're in front of the people. I need to uphold my stature and air of nobility, and that demeans me in some manner. I'm not sure I'd ever appreciate being called that again. Thank you.
At least not in public.
And you guys sort of slowly transition, go down back into the opening and see the familiar sight. Only slightly more lit up than before. You can see that some of the guard have lit up perimeters of torches and other lighting. There's like different members of celestial orders holding up floating orbs of light in various different portions of it. They haven't made it towards the center yet where you found this orb or where you destroyed the prime shade, but they are doing their you can slowly see them sort of like spilling more and more out into the cavern. Where are you guys flying?
The epicenter?
Yeah, like where the prime shade fell.
Okay. You can hear one of the celestial order go, "This was down here the whole time. What the fuck?" And Kunbara just looks incredibly sad as she goes down, and she's like, "Oh, that is a Lord Amar vessel." And she tells you as you guys are floating towards the center, sort of like the history of what happened. Like this is the old Orenbelle that Satiun in their original onslaught and their original attack and their original awakening before King Oren and Daphnis sealed him. This entire crater was the cause of what used to be the Prisma Palace, the contained form of Satiun. just sort of like pushing down all of this, all of these people and just destroying them, like turning them into like flames and ash, and in just almost like a single moment. And it was like the sorrow of King Orenbelle ever since, and something that the family, the royal line, has kept with them as like one of their greatest failures. And so yeah, so you guys meet, you guys land in the center of the outline of the what used to be Prime Shade, in the center of the crater, and
It seemed like a very heavy subject to just gloss over. Like, this is one of our greatest failings. Anyways, let's continue.
well, no, she's still there's still an air of like somber and just sorrow, lament as she's going forward. Like she has never seen this before, but she is like just now it's assailing her to actually be here in person and put material to the myth. We tried to make it so nobody ever did.
Are there many people who know of this history?
Not many, no.
I imagine Cumentus was one, since he did that.
I didn't even know Cumentus knew of this place.
The old fool had tricks.
I
then.
knew of it, of course.
Was that Pinky?
No, that was Carnival. Only kind of similar.
Okay. How did you find out about this carnival? Your ferrets?
One of many ways. I have my...
Probably his ferrets.
I can't reveal my secrets to the
They're
likes of
always
you.
ferrets.
I was a flying squirrel when I came in.
Yeah,
Was that a ferret?
Kinda.
Are all tiny animals that
They're
similar
all
to
ferrets,
you? You
they're
can't
all-
discern the difference?
No, I can't roll. Just her check. Brr, 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 brr.
He still is holding over the fact that he like solved everything going through the Shattered Peaks. So yeah, the air gondola sort of slowly lands on the ground, dust billowing out from its entrance, the crystal on top, the 4 members of the Celestial Order jumping down and sort of like fanning out, and Kunbara staying close to you all, and especially the crystal.
Can I run ahead and then like cast Druidcraft and make like a little bed of flowers
Underneath the crystal?
where it's gonna go?
Sure. Yeah.
I do.
Okay. In the where it came from, the black outline of the head of the Prime Shade, the vines just start curling out as leaves and flowers sprout from the vines and just consume this place in this very dense grove now. And one of the Celestial Order members just puts a light down, just sort of like highlighting the entire area as the crystal is guided in the very center. And she goes, "All right, what now? You've done this before with another Prime Shade, haven't you?"
Can't remember what we
Check,
did.
you
I
have one. You have a tattoo still.
I don't remember what we did last time. We have so many battles. I would like to roll a remembering check.
Okay.
Can I help?
8.
Can I,
8.
can I do one too?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
Remembering
Don't worry
check.
about it. Oh wow. 22.
Plus 13
Yeah.
for what?
History
What do you-
check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's super
I didn't
surprising
realize
for Thunky.
that like my history was.
You break it.
so-
You just shatter it. It's
Oh.
it's the contained, like the crystal is containing all of this energy. You just shatter it.
We break it.
You just break it. If I,
Like,
I'll
put
handle
it in
this
nine-
one, Carnagal.
Hit it with
I,
it.
You're probably still
yeah. Thanks.
bronze over brains. That's what I always
Yeah,
say.
that's what I
Herchek.
always like to say too.
Of course
Can
it
I,
is.
can I hit? Can I hit the crystal? Can I hit the crystal? Can I hit the crystal?
Yeah, as Herchek is like slowly walking over, like rolling his shoulders back, like grabbing his giant Starlight Conqueror blade, looking at Carnigal in the eyes, you just hear as Varkir
Wow.
is in front, just like just like going to town, shattering it, and roll wisdom saving throws, all of you, even.
Yeah, so you need wisdom, so I wouldn't get close to it.
Wow.
That's a 17.
5.
Okay.
17.
Sorry, what'd you get again? 17. Okay, so you can as you the celestial order
18 actually. Never mind. Oops.
remove the barrier, and everybody in Oren's Obliterate, with the exception of Herchek, as he's sort of like confidently looking over at Carnigal. He and Carnigal both share this look of terror as they both go down onto their knees, as like you could almost see this like black smoke jump from in every direction outside, just start billowing. Again, you can see the faces just sort of like push out of the smoke and as they're washing their way throughout the entirety of this chamber, and you can see the closest forms, petrified forms, sort of like fill in a little bit more and turn into like flesh and bone and just fall down to the ground. And Herchek, as he's lifting his sword, he and Carnigal just sort of like, again, fall on their knees, and just you can hear again thousands upon thousands of yells and screams and crying of like, "Don't take my baby!" Why? And the in particular the woman and child that you just backhanded down to the ground, they're like visiting you right now as they're just like hovering over you.
You took our bodies.
Yeah. And you take
Nice smile.
5, 9, 5, 14. You take 24 points of psychic damage as they're just screaming inside of your head, and Carnigal as well as just sort of like one hand across his temple, just clenching his teeth. As they wash over, and Kunbara is just standing there stoically taking everything, and you can see tears just sort of streaming down her face. And you can also see, whereas the material was brittle before, it starts to fill itself in and starts to become more and more solid, and the almost like absence of life and the onslaught of cold feeling from this cavern starts to slowly dissipate once more. And in this very brief image, you all see Orenbelle as it once was before it dissipates, and its white stoned buildings and blue topped structures with sort of like golden lines along all of the structures and walkways and paths of gold and sort of like silver statues, before it all fades from your mind and is the dead, but less dead and destroyed old Orenbelle once again. And that
So is this
is
so?
where
So old Orenbelle is outside of New Orenbelle. So like here's New Orenbelle and here's old Orenbelle.
old
underneath?
Orenbelle is about 250 feet below, maybe 300 feet below
Is it
actual Orenbelle.
directly below, or is it-
Directly
oh,
below.
directly. Okay, so never mind. Yeah, but I was about to say like, hey, let's just knock out the ceiling, but the above us is the
Let's live down here once again. And there's actually a for the first few moments as the bodies assume their once living essence again, there's this awful stench of just death in charred flesh. But it's only briefly. It's like the bodies assume their old forms and then wilt down and almost again just sort of like return to dust from age rather than the taking of their life essence, if that makes sense.
It's like they age really fast all of a sudden or something.
Yeah,
Like that?
exactly.
It's
So
like,
it's like we're back again. Like we're what we were before, but time is taking its course, and it's almost like you see the souls like rise from their body and go bye.
So for babies, we would see them grow up to be really big people, and then
No,
wither
you
and die
just
really
see
fast,
their. I don't even want to envision this. Thanks, but you see their small baby forms just rapidly,
Benjamin Button out of there.
No, they don't. They didn't get a chance to grow up into normal, not normal. They didn't get a chance to grow up into fully formed human beings. So you just see them wither away as babies, unfortunately. But it's like a little bit of life, and then it's gone. And yeah, there's this air of like, whereas the souls were screaming as soon as the crystal is fully unmade and has rejoined the area around you. Again, that feeling disappears, and it's almost like a positive air. It's almost like if you could hear the spirits smile or like feel their rejoice at being able to join the afterlife. That is what is pervading across this entire land. And you particularly, Thunky, hear like every single person and interaction hyper vividly.
Probably just dropped to my knees and like,
Wow.
exactly.
And that is where we will leave off in this episode of SASANs and Dragons. Thank you for joining us, Sassins. What will happen next time on SASANs and Dragons? Our heroes of Oren's Obliterate must make their way towards Bresh and make amends. I wonder how that will go as Dark Varkir. Darkir has rejoined his body and his darkened mind. The one responsible for everything.
Sorry, I'm not sorry, but yes, it's back.
All right, until fate next brings us together, Sassans, and to never stop playing role-playing games.